last time when they played their comfort, and they have their comfort again, so I do expect them to do well. Team Spirit's draft is a little bit concerning for me, just because it doesn't have the most typical catch heroes for these back.
All right, enough. I can no longer take it. Your discussion is too much for me. Big Spider make bad or Mr. Walrus? I choose Walrus. Go game. Have fun. Sunspain, if you say anything bad about me, I swear to God, I'm going to throw part of this chair at your head.
As Slack sets up his catapult, you guys can't see this, but he's aimed and ready. I wasn't listening to the panel until he screamed at us asking if you could sunder egg. I'm guessing, and you would sunder the ward, Cinderin. That would be the strategy.
That's true.
Literally.
That is actually true, because as you just pointed out, the Phoenix ulti is a ward. You could also sunder power cogs.
That's right. Thank you, Cinderin. Anyway,
yes.
They got brooded again.
Yep.
Everybody saw it coming.
Nope.
Can they, well, everybody but Spirit, can they do anything about it, Cinderin?
I don't know. I don't get it. Like, it's really weird for me to see. Liquid is a team that loves Brood a lot. Like, they've played this on Koikva a lot of the times in the past in different metas. In this tournament, it's been like first phase banned a lot, or at least banned in the second phase. Now, 2 games in a row, Team Spirit give it away 4th and 5th pick in games that are actually pretty important to them. And in neither of them do I feel like they have very good solutions. Like, I would be super happy to be proved wrong here and have them win this game, but I'm so concerned. Like, if a team that loves Brood gets to last pick Brood like this, they are having a field day, almost always.
I mean, they talked about last game they had Kunkka to technically catch the Brood and kill the spiders. It didn't really work out too well. Now their catch is essentially Snowball and then eventually the Blink into Mars Arena. I guess Rebuke is pretty good at killing the spiders. Not as long range as a Tidebringer, though. I mean, they picked, you know what, let's just talk about Tusk and Jakiro. These are heroes that are just not picked anymore. I'm really happy to see them. I obviously not convinced until we actually, this is the thing, we've said this last series, I think. But the thing I love about Team Spirit is they're picking heroes that are not in the meta, and at times they're making them look really good. Is this going to be one of those games?
I'm not sold on Jakiro here. I think they only really picked it into the TA, right? They picked it into TA, Oracle, Phoenix. I think the 2 supports are great against Jakiro. One of them has block for magic damage, and the other one doesn't care about taking damage as long as it gets its ult off. Jakiro doesn't have good attack speed. It doesn't have good attack range, so it's terrible against the egg. And I don't think it does particularly well in lane against either support either.
Do you think that they just wanted, I mean, I'm sure there was a better one that you can bring up, but do you think they needed something to take off refraction perhaps from the support side? Because they don't really have much to take that off in terms of the Sumail TA. Is Insania? He might be in some trouble here. That is tag team. That is a very strong level 1 spell. And in fact, that will be first blood going the way of the Tusk. Mirror.
Yeah. They're going to choose to tri-lane the Brood because they know that any dual lane combination they have will not handle this pressure. This is something similar to what we saw. Actually, never mind. They just want the first blood and now they're TPing out. I know I'm talking a lot about the Brood. You know this thing I like to say when there's a Brood in the game? It's an Alchemist game. And it really is what this is going to be. This is going to be one of the games where you really got to pay attention to the Brood because it's going to take a lot of it.
I feel like you could come up with a better term that actually works for more than one hero.
Yeah.
You know, just name it after something that's not a hero, perhaps. Are you going to play the game, Cinderin?
Yes.
Okay, just check.
Eventually, but for now I'm watching it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm worried for Spirit in this bottom lane that when Brood hits level 4, 5, especially 6, the good thing about Terrorblade, I guess, is that he can jungle level 4, right? You just leave. You're not going to do well in that lane. Who are they going to park there? Is it going to be Mars? If Mars has a bad start in the top lane, he is not very able to go down there, and he's playing against a carry Axe. Great matchup, but at the very least they find the Oracle kill. Very interesting how Jakiro seemingly was able to do that almost on his own.
Maybe it's a great hero after all.
Oh, they did meta for it. Never mind.
Yeah, Koikva into the trees, and Yataro doesn't want to waste his time, so we'll use the rest of the... Oh, we're going to see some action top lane. The rebuke after the spear for Collapse. A 3-0 advantage for Team Spirit. They heard people talking smack. Speaking of smacking, Mickey does end up getting the trade in the end. But why do you think Jakiro isn't played? Like, forget about this game in general. Is there a reason that the hero just is considered not good right now? I mean, it provides push, right? Has good damage overall and a nice stun.
So it has multiple. I think its biggest strength is the early laning stage. But the problem is after the laning stage, its primary weaknesses are it's slow. All of its cast animations are long. Yeah. So at a higher level of play, people have an easier time dodging the spells in general. And a lot of the damage can get countered, right? You can dispel both dual breath and you can just run out of macropyre and it fades, or you can dispel that too, I believe. Ice Path is not very strong until it's maxed out. And he just, like, you gotta hold it up against other supports that are strong in lane and what they offer later, right? Like, similar to what I've talked about a couple of times in this tournament so far, it's about the conditions, right? Like how often do you get a very good Jakiro combo? Like what does your lineup need to have for Jakiro to shine? A classic pairing would be something like Darkseer. Okay.
A spear into the tree, but Mira, he was getting off the tag with a lot of damage, but he's gonna fall to the Axe passive. Counter Helix for the win. Collapse, not able to catch up to Mickey.
Yep, that's a hero you don't really like going on with tag team. Yep. He hits back.
Indeed.
And,
oh, nice spear, though. He did pick up a Ring of Houses. He's a little bit tankier now, but the Tier 1 tower is doing quite a bit of work. Collapse does have the Battle Hunger applied. Here comes Mira. Yeah, I think Mickey is going to find his way to the grave, but gets the kill onto Mars first.
Was that worth it?
Wow.
I don't know if that was worth it.
Taiga, in the meantime, being
He's
chased.
dead.
Yeah, that is a snowball available, and he'll use it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say that was not worth it.
Thank you, Cinderin.
You are welcome, sir.
Okay, well, I mean, once we get to level 6, that's going to be, like you said, the most interesting part where Koikva's just going to be in this lane by himself, seemingly.
I think so.
I mean, Lina, I could see, like, clearing the way, but you don't want to be a mid-hero just staying in one lane trying to contest, especially with Toronto-Tokyo playing. We've seen him destroy on this hero before.
Lina can't clear against Brood. I don't think so. I think it's too difficult. Dragon Slave doesn't kill the spiders, and your spells can get dodged, right? Hitting the stun is hard. Lina just cannot be there at all. So it's only Mars. Nobody else has a chance. Jakiro dies as well against Brood.
Do you think, I mean, they must have known that it was a possibility that they were going to pick Brood, right?
I think so.
Like, I feel like it's not possible
after
Game 1.
I mean, after Game of Thrones, I believe you can forget about literally everything. So maybe they just forgot about the Brood.
Are you talking about the writing of that show, how it went downhill as if it made no sense?
Just a specific justification of how someone just forgot about something. We kind of just forgot about the Brood.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. I'm just shocked that you made a TV reference. It wasn't that good, though, but
that's because you don't get it, because you don't watch TV.
I'll give you credit. As Koikva getting chased by his own Brood illusion.
We haven't talked about mid, by the way. Let's swing by mid for a moment, because Sumail was having a really good start. I think he was, okay, we're not looking at mid anymore.
Yeah, Taiga's getting beat down by Mira. I mean, this is the beauty of Tusk, right? Just a lot of aggression early. You can net yourself some decent kills. He's actually going to use the snowball, and it actually will connect. I think he was going to be in range, and there's the Ice Shards to block in Taiga, so another kill for Mira. This Tusk is looking, I mean, it's still relatively early on, but extremely good.
Taiga ended up taking 400 damage before he dove, instead of just diving.
Right.
And then he could get killed. He was probably expecting he could create more distance, and especially that snowball wouldn't connect in the tower. So nicely done there from Mira. Good deny here from Toronto-Tokyo. So yeah, Sumail had a good start in the mid lane, a good lead. He still has that, about 400 net worth up on the Lina. Level advantage as well. 46 and 7 to, I think it was 35 and 9.
Yeah.
Now it's 36 and 9. So good start for Sumail, obviously going to transition into also hitting jungle creeps at a faster pace than Lina. So should expect him to pull more and more ahead. Now, is this a good TA game compared to the last one? I think it's worse, probably. I would say both Terrorblade, Lina, and Jakiro fare well against the hero. There's a lot of refraction damage, breakers, Terrorblade with the illusions, could buy Manta as well. Not a build we see very often on Terrorblade anymore, but it can be good here. Lina with Fiery Soul, Jakiro, lots of damage over time abilities. Obviously can be dispelled by the Oracle, but...
I'm just happy we're seeing more position 1 Axe. We've seen it a couple times today, and it has looked quite good. Doesn't always win, which means it's not going to get nerfed probably, which is great to hear. as Collapse is going to stumble upon Mickey's stack, who's just going to leech a little bit of XP. Does get level 6, doesn't have mana for the arena. Let's use as a Soul Ring, just trying to steal some CS here. As it looks like Koikva is just going to be left alone for now for this tier 1 tower. Looks like they did scan just to make sure that there's no TP support, but we have a smoke here. Very early smoke with Terrorblade involved, actually. I mean, he had to abandon the bot lane, so he might as well try to get some XP in here, I suppose. And they see Insania.
He is toast.
Yep, he is dead. I mean, he's died a couple times already. Not the highest priority kill, but with the meta, they might be able to get this tier 1 tower mid as Sumail is kind of in the jungle here, taking out some ancient stacks.
Very good rotation. Best possible play on the map. They're not looking to defend bottom. Pushing top would also be harder than this, but collapsing, knowing that Brood can't join this, makes it a 4-on-5. They get the kill that makes it a 3-on-5 in case Mars were to rotate, and TA can't stop this. So nicely done from Team Spirit.
Yeah, Sumail gets most of the ancient creeps. He knows that Spirit are going to be in the vicinity. Actually gets the trap overall, so we'll finish them off completely. And Sumail, I mean, he's top net worth right now, which again, I mean, I feel like every TA game is it's kind of the same thing.
An Alchemist game.
God, here we go. I mean, in a different way, I guess. Yeah, sure. But
I'm so funny.
Not really. That was a pity laugh, if anything.
Thank you.
I mean,
you're a good friend. I'm actually starting to sound like Jenkins. Those were 2 lines he could have said.
You're a good friend.
Those are 2 things Jenkins could have totally said on broadcast. I am so funny, and you're a good friend.
I know. Jenkins is a very strange individual.
Terrible influence on everyone.
That's true. That is definitely true. Oh, Mira gets the courier kill, looks like. He's just going to back away, though. And I mean, still level 5, but off to a really good start for him specifically. But Liquid's still in net worth lead, mainly because of both the Brood and Sumail's TA.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Mars did go bottom lane, so as Toronto Tokyo does have an Invis Rune and the Laguna Blade as well. Not going for the courier, wants the hero instead. And Reflection's going to start things out. LSA into the Laguna Blade. Oh, the right clicks. Nope, the smoke. I don't even know if that was needed.
I don't think so.
I think there was one attack.
Yeah,
only.
I think so too. I think it would have been fine, but okay.
Either way.
This is how you get front page on Reddit, though, so gotta go for it.
You really think that would be front page Reddit? I don't know. I don't think you give him enough credit.
If it's the right player that does it as front page. If Miracle did that, it's top.
That's true.
1,500 upvotes.
He could have had 500 health and did it. And
Miracle does it, 1,500 upvotes. Weeha does it, 2,000 downvotes. What's this guy doing, you know?
Poor Weeha. My boy.
Yeah.
I miss my boy, actually. But Koikva's having a great time. I mean, they have top 3 net worth in the entire game for Liquid. They are, I mean, it's not quite snowballing yet because the lead is not that substantial. But if you're a Liquid fan, you have to be happy with this. I mean, they're down on kills, but they're still doing quite well.
They're very comfortable in the game. They know what the game plan is. The lanes have gone fine. I think the majority of these kills have been good rotations from Spirit rather than just lane outplays. So it's completely fine because those kills are different, right? When you get these kills with 3 or 4 man rotations, they cost as well. They're not like free gold because you lost farm to get the kill.
Yeah, talk about the god-awful turn rate onto the Jakiro. Although, here comes Collapse with the Mars Arena. The Rebuke takes care of most of the spiders, and then the big one gets sent into the arena. They just don't really have any damage to follow it up with. As Toronto Tokyo is just getting simply right-clicked down by Sumail. Ends up being a very easy one in the end, and they, of course, got the Jakiro because he can't move anyway as a hero in general. Although they did buff that recently, I feel like. They've been slowly buffing it so that...
Yeah, some heroes have a little better turn rate and some heroes got a little worse, I think. The ones with the very best got a little nerf and the ones with the very worst got a little buff, but it's still relatively... It's not really the turn rate that bothers me about Jakiro, to be honest. It's the animation times. Casting spells takes pretty long. I think it got better on Dual Breath, but still... the hero just feels very clunky and slow a lot of the time.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. So 2K net worth lead. I want to talk to you about something. I'm not sure if we're going to get interrupted by a fight here, but I've been trying to convince people that this item is good, okay? On Axe. So Axe is going to be going for this Blink Dagger, Shard, Manta, all that good stuff, right?
Right.
And you have a TA on your... Of course, he's going to need BK, but the problem is he needs so many items on this hero. But it is position once you're going to get it. As we might see a fight here, so we're going to have to hold off on that thought. Taiga level 7. Snowball to start things out.
Oh, he dove.
Oh, he actually did dive. All right, he's going to get off
good
the Phoenix Egg as Mickey is zoning it. So nicely done there. So it will be a successful egg in the end. Saves his life, essentially, as Mira kind of just walks away. So I things just dissipate completely.
Whoa!
Oh,
my
Yataro.
goodness!
Koifa gets a kill on Collapse in the meantime. Yataro got so much lower than I thought he would.
Yeah.
He does live, so in the end, no big deal. But yeah, Collapse dying, not too great, obviously. And if this is another lineup, it's just with a TA, gives you the Roche potential.
Yeah.
So always have to be wary of that.
What do you want on X?
I know you're really interested on this, but when you have a minus armor hero in the game, which TA is, Aghanim Scepter, I think, is severely underrated. So Battle Hunger will apply -7 armor to anybody, right? Berserker's Call loses 3 seconds on cooldown, and anybody you call gets minus. It's not just minus armor, the plus armor applies to Axe. He's literally stealing that armor.
Right.
I think it's a very underrated item.
It's a good item in this game because you're playing against both Terrorblade, Tusk, and Mars, right? There's a lot of physical damage.
Yeah.
The way I think about it is, it's actually, in a way, it's a less offensive item than an AC here because you get the minus armor from AC, but then you get attack speed on your pure damage.
Exactly.
And getting... Against Terrorblade, having attack speed on Axe is so good because you can almost solo him if you have. So I think I'd rather see him do that. But if the Terrorblade was, say, a PA, I would have probably liked the Aghanims more, to be honest. But yeah, in this specific pair matchup, I just
if you get
AC
late
is
enough,
just incredible.
Oh yeah,
here.
AC is amazing. You get the attack speed, like you said, with the shard, just combos so well. But that's more minus armor as well, Cinder. They synergize together. You can get Axe later as a 6th item on Axe.
He might be the one taking it if they got it from Roche.
I mean, I'm actually, that's true. I'm actually really glad that people are not using it because it's going to get buffed again. I think it's already strong. So once we start seeing it, it's going to be OP, I think, the next patch. But
good in the right
we'll
game.
See.
This is definitely one of the better games to buy it in.
Yeah, typically I would never see anybody buy it unless there was a minus armor, like mid-hero or something like that. As we're going to see, LSA, again, he tried to use dive, but just not fast enough. So another kill going the way of Team Spirit, but there's just, feels like they're losing, the longer this game goes, they're just losing more ground because of both TA and Brood just controlling the map.
This game is so similar to the last game. It almost feels like we're watching the same game, right? Brood wins the bottom lane, takes the tower. TA farms mid, pushes out.
Yeah.
They will get the first Roche most likely at the rate this is going, unless... okay, this is a good kill.
Absolutely. There's the Mars Arena, Macro Pyre, Ice Path combination into the dual breath. He's at half HP still, very tanky. Mira's here as well. The Rebuke does a ton of damage. And
surely he doesn't live. No way.
Down to the bottom.
No.
Toronto, Tokyo. Can he get the wave off? Doesn't even connect. And remember, the more time he buys, the more HP he gains through the spin webs. And they're getting tipped galore, and he still has 5 webs to go. He is so far away from them. Oh, wait. Collapse. Oh, boy. Now he's stuck in the trees.
All right.
Has to TP out.
All right, Koikva.
Oh, my God.
See you at the top of... Second on Reddit behind Miracle. Oh, that's so... I mean, it's one thing they don't get the kill. They rotated 4 heroes and spent a minute. And now he's full HP. It's like, come back. I'm right here.
All right, I think they've learned their lesson, Cinderin. They're going to let him have the tier 2 tower.
No, they'll
ban him for next game.
They messed up. He should have died, right? I think Tusk didn't have his ult when he came in. He snowballed, but he didn't ever use the Walrus Punch, and they used the Lina stun before the snowball. He could have also waited for the ball.
I mean, even if they hit that, you're he's 4 heroes that need to be used to kill him. Isn't that just an issue in and of itself?
Yep. I do think, I mean, maybe I haven't been too clear from the start of this. I think Brood is really good right now, and you should probably ban it, but yeah.
He's going pretty much the exact same build here, just super tanky. Has the minus armor for the towers and pipe,
Okay, this is a killable hero.
Yep, Phoenix. I feel like we've seen this story before.
We got punched for that one.
Absolutely. It just feels like Mars Arena is up all the time. I feel like that's really going to get addressed in the next patch.
I think it would be the most obvious nerf to the hero.
Yeah.
Would be to make Arena 100
Which
seconds
means that they're not
75.
Right.
It's debatable. Sometimes it is the obvious nerfs. He's probably going to get -5 move speed though.
-1 armor maybe. Then he's just unpickable, I think. So maybe not.
The armor hits are. Nah, that would never happen to Mars. No.
I mean, they need to keep Mars playable when Dawnbreaker makes her arrival because they synergize so well together. So
I just want to play Dawn.
Yeah, great hero. Just needs an Ags and a Shard. Sumail. All right, Ice Shard actually does trap him in. They didn't have any vision to see. They just assumed, I suppose, that he got up the cliff. But either way, going to back off. So A little bit surprised we haven't seen a pickoff into a Roshan yet for Team Liquid, as, I mean, Sumail's just going for the same build. Aghanim Scepter's next on the list, so he can just be all over the map. Mira trying to TP out, but the right clicks are there. And there's the pickoff right in front of the Rosh pit. And something tells me that Roshan's about to die, Sundarin. A lot of minus armor here. Miposhka, I mean, they do have some annoying spells to mitigate this Rosh attempt. But the Macropyre will eventually end. The fire shall be extinguished by the ice path, if only it worked that way. Sumail, all right, we see the pipe come out.
That would be one way of making Jakiro even worse.
Cancel your own ult with an ice path. Excellent. Mickey trying to make as much space as possible. He's gonna, what? How did that not connect? Actually, I think
it got his Manta illusion.
Oh, okay, wow. Well, Egg comes out. Can they kill it in time is the question. Collapse. Looks like they do. He's gonna buy back into the game though. Collapse getting surrounded by Koikfa and the spiders. Gets the rebuke off, kills a couple spiders, but his life is gone. Sumail already has the Aegis. And you're right, man. This feels exactly like game one.
The difference is this time Miyatoro is playing the Terrorblade instead of PL. So
He's having more impact.
I have more hope for them because of the specific hero in the game.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Psyblade, Deso, destruction for Sumail. And now Miposhka, he's a double-headed dragon that is about to die. Down he goes.
All right, I'm going to call it now. No matter whether Spirit win or lose this game, they are not giving away Brood the rest of the tournament. In any games they have left.
Do they have any games left?
They have 2 more in groups, and if they don't get knocked out, they have a best of 3 series, right?
Yeah,
Minimum.
I mean, you have to think that other teams are going to be watching. It's like, why did they let Brood through? And they just can't handle it.
It's a bit of a shame, right? Because we've cast a lot of their games actually. I think this is their 3rd or 4th series we've watched. And they drew against Vici, they drew against EG, they drew against, who was the 3rd team they drew against on day 1? It was another, was it LGD?
I don't, maybe.
It was another, it was 3 of the really strong teams they got draws against. I was like, okay, these guys are legit. They can definitely win against some of the other teams that are not doing so hot. And then they come into these series and they just, I feel like they're kind of getting cheesed. And it's by choice.
Yeah, by choice.
Almost. Right? It's not like a surprise pick Brood that, it's not a surprise that Liquid has it in their arsenal. It's not a surprise that the later in the draft that we go, the better it is when you don't have counters. So,
well, okay. So
I know I'm talking about it a lot and it's boring, but it really defined these 2 games so much for me. This Brood pick has just.
No, I don't think you're boring, Sundarin.
Thank you. You're a good friend.
You're just an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
A very acquired taste.
It has taken me 31 years. I'm not there yet. But
yeah, you're just fermenting like a nice cheese.
Someday I may actually like myself.
Well, that's depressing. All right, let's change the subject. Sumail's having himself a game. I mean, back to the Brood, not to beat a dead spider here, but wow, you actually laughed at that.
Yeah.
That was such a bad one. But
I know. That's what I'm saying. Being unfunny on purpose can be funny.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to be funny. That makes it sad, I think. But
no, that was really funny.
Either way, like if you don't do your research, and I mean, obviously Koikfa is known for Broodmother, but let's just say you don't do your research and you're not expecting the Brood the first time, right?
That's one thing.
That's one thing. But then letting it happen again is just so weird. Like it feels like a little bit of cockiness coming through.
I wonder what the thought process was after game 1 that made them not think that was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because I mean, it's one thing if you're like, oh, it wasn't the biggest problem, we lost to something else. I mean, fair enough. Like if you looked at the game and you didn't think Brood was a problem, that's fair. But I just totally disagree with that, because when I see the second game, I feel like they're encountering the exact same problems for the exact same reason. So that's why I'm saying, all right, fool me once, fool me twice, rest of the game, you ban the Spidey.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's how that phrase goes.
It almost rhymed. I would have said Spice, but it wouldn't work.
God. When you get cranky at night, it really shows, Sundarin. You really hate this Broodmother so much.
Oh, look at these spiderlings. They can't really choose what to do.
Yeah, and this is great micro from Koikfa. You can see why he's so good at this hero. This spider is just patrolling constantly.
You can stay there. There's 16 seconds left. Put on some Daft Punk.
Let's make sure we don't lose a kill
around the world, around the world. No!
Man, that is quite the cosmetic,
He lost the web.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So
yeah.
Whatever. Can we get a replay so I can sing the song?
Oh, Spear into the Mars Arena. Rebuke to follow. There's the percentage base heal from Taiga this time around. Mickey is extremely strong now that he has that Manta, but no Shard actually, so maybe not so much. Oh wait, maybe he does have Shard. I think we're clicking on Mars there. But Collapse either way, gets a Battle Hunger, but able to blink out in time. But in time doesn't really much as he dies shortly after. So 2-for-0 exchange. That's not really an exchange. That's a he doesn't have shard. You're right. So
it's coming up. He's in on courier.
It's funny because Manta is pretty bad when you don't have shard. It's only good for like pushing out waves and whatnot. But yeah, Itaro getting chased by Sumail here, but Mickey jumps in with that Berserker's Call into the Manta style, and Insania trying to get that off, but not able to really connect with much else. Not enough damage here to take out the Terrible. I mean, he is 3rd net worth right now. It's a pretty difficult hero to kill in general.
That might have been a kill with the shard that's arriving now, though. Like, that was deceptively weak.
Yeah.
Considering how many illusions and the attack speed he gets now and everything,
No doubt.
it's going to make a very big difference.
I was hoping we see the replay of the spider, but instead it's going to be this kill. Toronto, Tokyo, with that Laguna Blade, you can see.
Oh, last attack.
Yeah, beautifully done.
He could have egged to live, but thought he was going to survive.
Yeah, Mickey actually jumps in, collapse, gets off the spear. Mars Arena as well, and there's a lot of spiders to work with. The collapse actually on the other side, and he's going to be able to use his rebuke to kill off most of those spiders now. False promise onto the Brood Mother. Will he survive through this? Doesn't look like it. And that's a pretty big kill for Team Spirit. They're going to actually get another stun onto Insania into the LSA. So double kill for Yotaro. This is an opening, Cinder. There's no Roche for a while, so they can't really get anything like that, but more objectives, perhaps like the tier 2 mid. There's still a bunch of towers bottom for them.
I think the best thing you can do in this situation when there's no Roche is try to spend this time warding for the next place Brood is going to go and then go kill him again. Or TA. Like, pick whichever core you want to focus on and be one step ahead. They do have one Ops, one Sentry on Jakiro. Either that or you prepare for Roche, but he's far away. Like, the earliest spawn is 2 minutes, so the average spawn is 3.5, right? Yeah. I mean, you could ward for that, but there's a good chance it gets covered by Liquid when they spawn again, so rather try to find something. A lot of drawings on the map here.
And Mickey jumps in, gets the call up onto the Jakiro. He's already used his Macro Pyre. Sumail on the other side. This is going to be a very, very easy one. And like you said, now that Mickey has this shard, his damage gets amplified by a lot. He's actually going for Boots of Travel, so just trying to be all over the map. I mean, TA already has Ags, so they're going to have a lot of mobility now, which, I mean, does that surprise you at all? I mean, obviously the move speed is just really good for Axe in general, but typically you'd see, like, you know, we talked about Assault, we talked about BKB. There's a lot of things you can go for Axe that feel pretty standard this time.
So what did you say he was getting? Travels?
Yeah, Travels.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like that's necessary. I guess I'm kind of arguing against Travels a lot of the time here. In games where you're dominating like this, I think I'd rather just him be able to fight.
Oh boy.
But if they feel like they can split the map better.
The rebuke actually misses. Nice micro from Koikfa. Mars Arena is down, and Mickey gets the call off and collapses. He's just going to try to TP out on the other side, but the Culling Blade is there to finish him off. Mira also died in that engagement, so Liquid, it just feels like they're just getting these kills.
It's high ground time.
Absolutely. Mickey, not the greatest tower pusher, but he's going to stick his fate. I mean, he does have the dragon skill, I suppose. So
he can be very confident in jumping in, though, I think, with Insania and the Sunray behind.
Yeah.
They have a lot of protection, and the burst damage and the Radiant isn't that good, except from Lina.
Yeah, that is true.
So you even see Koikfa just tanking the tower and the Lina at the same time.
And of course, you have Insania in the back with Fortune's End to dispel all this annoyingness that is Team Spirit. And obviously the false promise to eventually save whoever they go on.
Mm-hmm. And now they're cornered again. They lost all map control with those 2 deaths.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sumail with the traps just going to push top. They can come back bottom anytime.
Yeah, he has the Ags and the Shard, so the silence again. Broodmother, Koikfa has both Ags and Shard, so the Ags just allows him... Actually, I'm trying to remember. Is it just like really fast movement speed? Did they change that for Broodmother?
I think it's still the same old, pretty much, right?
It gives you more webs, I think, right? The Aghanim Scepter, and then the Shard, it's just the AoE Silken Bola, which is pretty strong right now.
So you get, I believe you get 8 more webs, and then you get more move speed in the webs.
Right, right. Okay. Oh, that was a potential pick there for Class, but nice blink out there from Mickey. And you can see that Yotaro is very confident that he's going to be picking up all these items in there. Butterfly, Satanic, Aghanim Scepter. They're in it for the long haul right now for sure. But look at this call from Mickey onto 2 into the Sunray to follow. This is going to be absolute demolishing from Team Liquid. Mars Arena finally comes out, but Collapse is about to die. There's the egg. Looks like it might be taken out in time, though. Just barely. Not able to get it off, but the damage from TA is just way too strong. Terrorblade dies. Does have buyback now, but I believe he used meta, so Not going to be of much use, sadly. And Poshka gets off the Ghost Scepter, but that's going to amplify the damage from the Battle Hunger. And yeah, this is looking quite over in favor of Liquid, which is a real shocker considering the draft.
Yeah, what a great call from Mickey. I think he got 3 into a full duration Sunray, so great stuff. Team Spirit, I don't blame them for trying to find an opportunity and find a fight. They're starved, they're losing the map.
Yeah.
You got to do something, but ultimately, the advantage is big, and if you get that one major initiation on the Axe, the fight is just exceptionally difficult.
Yep, they get mid-racks, they get a tier 4. They back off from the tier 4 because of the TB buyback. Of course, not super, I mean, he's only level 17, actually. I didn't even realize that, so. But, I mean, his essential ultimate, which is Metamorphosis, I guess we can call it, 80 seconds still. That's what makes him a hero. So 2 racks down, and kind of like we've seen in a lot of these games, they get these 2 racks, but they don't really even have a tier 1 top right now. It's funny how these games are, like, I feel like it's more consistent than I'm used to seeing. That just this entire side of the map is just kind of ignored by the winning team almost, like in terms of tower.
Yeah, and this has developed even in this patch. I think this being standard is, I feel like this is something we saw months ago in the older map, that people would play the map like this, where you would save the 2 enemy offlane towers for last. But now it's starting to become normalized in this patch as well. It's not an every game kind of thing. Like sometimes people will take that other tower. But
man, this Ags is so crazy from Sumail. All right, there's going to be a free shard on this bad boy. Team Spirit not even in remote destination here. Who does the shard go to? I mean, everybody on the team already has. I would assume it's the Phoenix.
100%. No question.
Well, yeah, I guess Oracle actually has his shard, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, Sunray will now be able to be castable during the egg, and it provides a slow just in general for the spell
I don't think Oracle has shard, right? He has gem.
Oh, is that the gem?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, the Oracle shard is also not that good.
You think it's good or not good?
Not that good.
Yeah, it's pretty meh. Wait, what does the Ags do for Oracle? Is it the...
I forgot, he's had like 6 different ones.
Yeah, they changed it so
I never buy it.
Oh, this is actually really good. Fate's Edict. So you don't get the negative side for your teammates, and the enemies get wrecked by magic damage. So pretty nice. Although you're never going to get that on
but as usual, it's still dispellable. So
yeah, true. Yeah, that's a pretty big investment to be dispellable.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can just add that on that's not dispellable.
Maybe.
Maybe that'd be too strong.
That'd make it pretty strong. That'd be like Halberd then, right? Where
but
you can't
it's not like he can farm, though. Like 4,200 gold is a lot. All right, this is the last-ditch effort from Team Spirit. Sumail has the Aegis. He has MKB. He has a billion jillion items. Collapse. Gets the spear off into the tier 2 tower, but here comes the team fight potential. Sunray coming in. Sumail looks like he's going to... Oh, he's going to get healed now with that false promise as well. And on the backside, Koikpa going to work. These Team Spirit heroes are going to start dropping slowly but surely. Sumail actually lives with a false promise. Remember, he still has Aegis on top of all of this. Marzal's finally used after all of this. Oracle's already expended everything, so that's the only casualty for Team Liquid right now. Sumail continuing on here. Mira gets off the snowball. They will be able to take out Axe, so I think this is a successful hold from Team Spirit for now. But the important thing for Team Liquid is they did not lose Aegis. There's actually a regen. Quite nice.
I wonder if they're going to re-go because Metamorphosis drops now. If they find a pick here, it would make sense for Team Spirit to feel really safe with Axe dead. Yep.
They were not expecting... I mean, he does have Agnum Scepter, so he could have a trap in base either way. But Yataro now getting chased by Koikpa. There's the Sunray percentage-based damage again. The silence is there. Can't get his Sunder off quite yet. Now he can if he really wants to. It's going to be on his teammate. Not a full heal, though. And here they come again. Sumail from the backside with the BKB. That is essentially a dieback, and now Collapse looks to be next. Well played. I believe GG should be called here in just a moment. Team Liquid get the 2-0 that they desperately need, and I think it's because of Insania's little dance sitting there after the last series.
Yep. It was the unbanned Brood dance.
Oh, that too.
Oh.
Yeah, they're going to continue to try to play here, it looks like. Sumail continuing to get healed. Miposhka gets off the Ghost Scepter. It's going to be a waddle at back to base as Mira. Not going to be so lucky, though. And yeah, with TA still alive and healthy with that Aegis, this is a dead tier 4 and likely the Ancient to follow.
Yeah, you got to buy 20 seconds to get an arena so you can defend this a little bit longer. Yeah, and I don't think they can't buy 10 seconds here. It's
GG
over.
is called. Mickey with the last call of the game into the Culling Blade. Nothing feels better than a beautiful Culling Blade. You know what feels worse is when you don't get the kill with Culling Blade. You feel very impotent. You feel very pathetic.
It's true.
You feel like Jenkins, basically.
Getting kills feels better than not getting kills. That is correct.
Thank you, Cinder. You are such a good analyst. I really appreciate you helping me out here today.
Taiga is making a gesture that looks like he's complaining at Mickey after a 2-0. It's like, Mickey, I told you, just we should pick Brood. And Mickey was like, I don't really think we should play Brood. Taiga was like, we play Brood. All right, enough about Brood. It's good to see Liquid coming back into shape. Now they have a real chance at not getting eliminated after having a scoreline of 1-7, I think, in their first 8 games. They are now 4-8.
4-8. So that ties them with Team Spirit, who were just on the inside, I guess you could say, of the continuing on to play teams. But yeah, this changes a lot. I mean, I don't know. I think, is it Liquid that plays EG tomorrow? That is...
I believe so.
That is going to be I think that's their last match, and I feel like they at least have to draw, and if they do, then they have to hope that Team Spirit just goes 0-2 in their next match. But a lot of cool storylines. I mean, we've talked the Broodmother to death. I feel like the panel's just going to talk about this anyway, so what do you, other than banning Brood, let's say it gets through and you know it's getting through, like what should your plan be? Because it feels like they have some heroes that can deal with it, but it just doesn't ever feel like enough.
I don't know, I think you need to have a better lane against it so you pressure it in the start, or you have to start as 3 heroes and really pressure it, and then afterwards you need to have a designated hero that can really lane against it, like Timbersaw or something like that. Just sits there and runs at the Brood and doesn't care. Even a hero like Mars, who's technically pretty good against Brood, still got solo killed in that game. So
yeah, I mean, the fact that Brood can just be so much more flexible now, she can kind of be all over the map. She kind of plays like the old days where, I mean, in some respect that you're pushing your own lane and you can do your own thing, but she just is so much more flexible than she used to be. So just a much higher value pick. But let's see, as this thing keeps coming off, and I'm just done. Let's see what the panel has to say about, I know you guys are sick of hearing about Broodmother, but I would love to hear what Slacks thinks about Broodmother.
Thank you so much for joining us again. I'm glad you guys got to have a little preview of what Suns fans like in the green room. He's constantly taking off his shirt, his clothes. He says it makes him comfortable. We have to sit there. He wears whitey tighties like an old man. He just spreads out and he watches the games. It's absolutely vile and disgusting. But that's our lives here as Dota talent. Lizard, Effie, so good to see you guys again. I don't feel like talking about Brood, as Suns fan says. That's low-hanging fruit, and it's not good enough for our analysts. So, Lizard, please, what was your biggest impact from that series?
Biggest impact from that series?
And if you say Brood, you're going to embarrass me? Don't say it.
Perhaps the Axe, if not the Brood. He had a good time. He bought that Manta. Vanguard split pushed, had a good time. Tusk doing amazingly well as well for the enemy team, unsurprisingly losing. Together with Jakiro, heroes that aren't picked for a reason. They just don't work, but they made them look kinda alright, and after the laning stage and after how much time they spent on that Broodmother, I'm actually surprised that they hung in there, that they actually managed to go this far.
So what do you think the thought process was behind that Tusk and Jakiro? I mean, we were waiting to see.
They picked the Jakiro for wave clear, because you need to hold out for as long as possible when you pick a hero like Terrorblade. So you do need a wave clear support. Typically the one people go to is Grimstroke, but since it wasn't available, they went for the Jakiro. I'm actually not sure if they banned it. They probably did. I can't remember at this point. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But that's what you go for when you pick a wave clear support. You're just trying to extend the game for your hyper carry.
Well, it didn't work, whatever they were thinking. But unfortunately, the hero that shall not be named, as you can see in these highlights, just ripping apart. Look at the horror, the absolute horror of this hero. No, that's a spider! That's a robot!
That's a spider robot?
What?
There's also an idea.
The lore there?
Yeah.
Lore there is Valve wants to make money with cosmetics. That's the lore. You think that we can explain Dwemer like spider robots?
Yeah,
you think they have the gall to put a description on that set? No. It just simply exists.
I forgot what I was going to say about
Can't argue with.
Shout out to Quakeva on the Brood. I know we're not supposed to talk about Brood, but that play in bottom lane where they went on him with 4 heroes and he just juked all of their spells and ran away. that was
like
really
4 heroes
that,
were chasing him.
that was very cool.
I wasted
Shout
a
out,
lot of his
shout
time.
out to you.
Okay, real talk though. There is like in the lore a place in the Dota 2 universe that they haven't really talked about much, where there's sentient robots, and they put like living organic things into the mines to like make all the gold for the cities of Revtel. So it's always been my theory that that robot was like a guardian made by the robots that enslaves the humans underground. You know, but that's beside the point, of course. There's the egg right there. A temple, if you will, not an egg.
You're a temple of knowledge when it comes to Dota lore, Slacks.
Thank you so much. It really is great for my Tinder profile.
Is it?
Really, yeah.
Is it really?
I'm like, would you like to hear about
I would love to hear about that.
know,
Just
Revtel? Yeah, that's great. Really good. Anyway, group stage 2-0. Now, this is Liquid's dream. Dream. This takes them out of the nasties and puts them at a fighting chance. What a great 2 series they had, huh?
Like your NA math earlier has said, they're now even out with Team Spirit, right? So they're still in the danger zone, but they can slowly climb out of it. Must not make any more hiccups, however.
Yes.
As they can't afford to lose any more games.
My biggest concern for them actually is they won both of these games and they played really well, definitely. I'm glad they got to play these games. It must have been really good for morale after yesterday. But my concern is they picked their signature heroes, the strategies they've been playing a lot, and that is a spider.
No, yeah, I'm listening.
I don't think that other teams will give them these broods and these oracles. And
You're right. I really think you're right, because there's zero chance that they should have gotten that brood, honestly. And their comfort heroes, as you said, are the meta heroes right now, which is tough, because they're always going to get banned out, you know?
So I'm curious to see how they'll perform outside of comfort. Hopefully this is the momentum that they needed.
Very sad in Team Spirit's booth.
Well,
Yeah,
See, very sad.
it's a rough time in Team Spirit's booth.
Yeah.
it's okay, guys.
It's all right, you know? Is that it for them? I'm not good at math.
They're same as Liquid at the moment, so if Liquid has a chance, I guess they do as well.
Well, yes. A slimming chance.
Very small chance, but it exists. It's there.
Chin up there, boys. Good luck, and look at them. They're looking at replays. That's what we want from our Dota players. Nobody cries. Nobody hits. No monitors are hit with headphones. Straight to the replays. That's a winner's attitude, Effie.
Yeah. The thing is, I liked what Aoi was saying earlier. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Do you want to hear?
I do.
Do you ever hit the monitor? No.
What?
What?
Do you ever hit your monitor or anything like that? Your keyboard?
Do I ever rage in a game? No. I've never raged. I've never been sarcastic.
I've seen your stream. You're really cool, calm,
Every single
and
person that says that I complain about other players, you know, link the game. Link the game. You won't, because you're a coward, because you know you deserved it. I've never been rude to anyone that didn't deserve it. What do you think, Effie? Thank you. That's how you panel. Let's go to the schedule tomorrow. Let's see. Show me the. Bring it up. Bring it up.
The schedule.
There it is. Right, there's schedule tomorrow. BSG LGD versus Vici. Big game, Effie. I interrupted you before. Why don't you take this one and tell me what you're most excited about? What should our viewers tune into?
From these series?
Yeah.
I think LGD Vici will actually probably be LGD favorite, since Vici didn't have a great performance today. LGD have been killing it. Spirit TNC, that'll be fun too, but I think the one I'm most excited to watch will probably be Liquid and Evil Geniuses, because that will be the true test for Team Liquid. Are they actually back? Or did they get the heroes that they shouldn't have got?
That's going to be a really rough series, but I mean, Liquid's got a lot of momentum. That is 4 games in a row, so high hopes.
Don't underestimate the psychology of Dota 2. You have to be feeling good to play good.
Wow.
And they were not feeling good yesterday.
All right. Do you believe then? You think they'll take it? You think they'll bring that feel-good attitude?
I hope they do. They're nice people. I want them to do well.
That's great. Ooh, you know, these panels are so positive with you two. You guys are real beacons of joy. You look for the positivity and stuff. You are also doing things.
I'm here.
You're here.
I'm present.
You know, and that's great. That's really positive. It's really good. Sometimes you
The
talk
positive
about
aura. That's all that matters.
what's that aura.
We're supposed to be Beauty and the Beast today.
Wow. That's hype. I thought he was supposed to be Animage.
No,
But he is-
Mage? No.
Oh, okay.
I'm scary.
I'm a princess, actually.
Yeah, I'm scary today, and he's a princess.
Okay, well, production is screaming in my ear to please end the show. So,
Misery.
ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today in the Animajor. If you want to see us, don't go anywhere. Don't close your streams. We are looking to be the most viewed major in Dota history. So open up both your streams, watch a bunch of anime, and oh my God, what the hell? I thought that was a UFO. No, we're all right. Okay, back. Keep your eyes peeled out there. All right. I want to believe that you'll be back tomorrow.
from WePlay Esports.
Buy the official merchandise for WePlay Animajor 2021 now on fragstore.com. Hoodies, t-shirts, mouse pads, headrest pillows, and other souvenirs were released in the limited edition for the tournament. Hurry up and buy them on fragstore.com via the link in the description or chatbot.
Ohio, Dota viewers. This is Animajor. On the grandest stage of them all, we have the best teams from each region competing for fun, glory, and a solid batch of DPC points. But what is DPC? Dota Pro Circuit is a series of leagues and tournaments that can simply be called the road to the international. First of all, we got 6 regional DPC leagues. Each league is divided into 2 divisions. Teams from the lower division are trying to climb their way to the upper division, while teams from the upper division are going through weeks of matches to advance to the major. 3rd and 4th places from the following regional leagues, China, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, will compete in round robin, best of 2 for the last 2 slots in the major group stage. That's what we call a wild card. Top 2 teams from each region go to the group stage, where they're going to brawl in round-robin best-of-2 format to advance to the playoffs. Top 1 team from each region comes directly to the playoffs of the major. They will have to fight in a double elimination bracket in a best-of-3 format to get to the grand finals. The stage will be set for the best 2 teams to clash and their skills to be tested in a BO5 series. At the very end of the circuit, top 12 teams ranked by the DPC points will be directly invited to the International.
Hello and welcome to the 3rd day of group stages here at the Animajor. We're live from Kyiv, Ukraine. I'm joined by Tigov and Jenkins as we prepare for another full day of Dota 2. And we're just past the halfway mark of the group stages, Jenkins. Time's going pretty fast.
It is, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of tiebreakers.
Yeah, potentially.
There are 4 teams tied for 2nd right now.
Is it? Yeah, that is really crazy. I guess maybe it's coming from the wildcards. The wildcards were already very even as well. Does it surprise you that that trend continues?
I think, yeah, the quality of the teams playing at this tournament is far better, and also just the time in which the teams had before the tournament started really attributes to the draws. Like, it's not this kind of high-intensity fly-in play kind of, there has been kind of room to adapt, and there's been enough time to play.
They know what each other are doing.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's best of 2s. Draws are pretty common in that scenario, and yeah, it's just great. The Dota is just so good right now.
The Dota is actually amazing. The results are good to see too for some teams, anyway. For some, not so good. I think one of the things that we were lacking in the wildcards that we now clearly have in the group stage, in the wildcards, there wasn't a clear bottom. Everybody was doing well-ish, right? And I think this group stage so far, Jenkins, there seems to be a clear bottom.
Yeah, so it's been looking rough for Liquid. There's a lot of things that you could attribute it to. I mean, I think they're doing some really interesting drafts, right? Like they've just ran the Koikva Lone Druid offlane. That is not something that's been normal for years, like a long time. And so, you know, they're trying their own style. They're trying to make things work, and that's interesting. And that actually has worked for other teams. Like Team Spirit has been doing. I mean, you know, they're at the bottom too, but I think everybody expected them to be at the very bottom, right? Like so. Their innovation in the drafts has done really well for them, but whereas with Liquid, it's just a miss, and it's always hit or miss to do these sorts of things in a draft.
We could take a look at the standings actually and see just exactly where we're at. So we are slightly over halfway through our games. Every team will play in the end 14 games total. So everybody has played 8 so far. Today they will all play another 4 games. Each team will have 2 series, and so far. I mean, we can obviously talk about the top and the bottom. I want to talk about the middle pack.
all the even teams that are pretty close to each other. Yeah, I think you know, Nigma, TNC, EG, Vigi Gaming, all sitting 5 and 3. Hopefully, we get to see them all play tiebreakers. Just so we get some more Dota. That would be great. But yeah, of course, I think we already just mentioned Liquid, but also for me, it's Beast Coast. They're a team. I believe they lost to PSG and TNC. They've drawn with Liquid and EG. So. I'm a little bit worried for them, at least, in kind of the SA representation with the group stage, because they drew against Liquid. Liquid's a team that has looked very underwhelming, so I'm kind of worried about Beast Coast. Like, they haven't really beaten anyone else, right? So, again, pretty worrying for both SA and, for Beast Coast and Liquid, and kind of, can they bounce back today, at least?
Yeah, I think going into this tournament, of course, people have high expectations from Liquid because they did look better DPC Season 2 compared to DPC Season 1 in the end. Beast Coast has an entirely different story coming into this because they didn't they were gonna make it to major number 1, and then they couldn't due to COVID, and then their replacement team crushed it. Like Thunder Predator last Singapore major looked amazing, right? And I kind of feel like those are the expectations set for Beast Coast, and they're not really living up to those.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so the thing with like this no ping Beast Coast too is that no ping obviously took the first seed, but I think most SA Dota fans would recognize that Beast Coast has been the top dogs for a long time. And you know, sure, there's always this battle for like the top slot, and Beast Coast sometimes looks shaky, but it's like they almost always come back. And so even though, and it's like EG also for NA being in the group stage, it's like. Just because these teams are in the group stage does not mean that people think that Quincy, for example, is going to do better than EG, or that No Ping is going to do better than Beast Coast. So I think people had really high expectations for Beast Coast, and you know, I guess it just goes to show how the skill difference in SA is very minimal right now. It's gotten a lot better as the DPC has progressed, which is really cool to see.
It is really cool to see. I also want to touch on TNC, who started the tournament the first day. They were 1 and 3. Didn't look too hot, and then yesterday their 4 games, boom, out of the park.
It was flawless stuff. I think their first ever series in tournament against EG, they worried us a little bit. They were very static. They weren't really making moves. They were just kind of happy to hit creeps, and then they just kind of lost all lanes. And then they kind of developed each game. They just got better and better. And then yesterday it was a breath of fresh air. Like we were worried for SEA just in the fact that if this was what TNC was going to bring, they might not even get an individual invite. But after yesterday, I think TNC for sure, if they can continue this trajectory, they should easily be able to get that placement to get an automatic invite because they were playing incredibly well.
They really were, and then it showed. This is a team that won the Chengdu Major, and you know it's kind of weird to think about. If you think about last year, we had 2 majors before COVID became a thing, and there already was a ranking list of DPC points, and there were some teams already qualified for the TI that never happened, right? And TNC winning 1 major kind of puts you on that top.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Like
right, there's just a whole DPC season that just got down the drain. Team Liquid was going to qualify for TI, was basically already qualified by having 2 top 6 finishes at majors. And, I mean, you can't... Like, that's something you can't get back. So I'm very happy to see TNC do well because, they won that first major. It was against Vici Gaming that they were in the finals as well. They didn't drop a lot of games there. I was looking if they frequently do this slow start into beast mode type of run. But that tournament, they were beast mode all the way through, so.
I was up last night until like 4 a.m. I'm just gonna say I'm super tired waking up today, and because the reason for it is because I was up watching TNC's replays. Like I was just trying to do some research, right?
Yeah.
But then I was fascinated. I was mind blown because I was casting the other stream, so I didn't actually see their games, and so I wanted to watch them because I heard people talking about like, oh, TNC like 2-0'd Nigmas.
Yes.
How does that happen? Carry Magnus. I mean,
it was good. Like honestly, it was a very good performance. Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. Like they just didn't have a carry, and then they have this like they didn't have like a true carry, right? They played with like all of their core positions, kind of playing as like semi carries, just saying, you know what, screw it. Like every role can just scale now. And then they have this offlane Viper. They do 2 games in a row where they go for this like Dragonlance into Scotty build, and in the first game he jungled. He jungled for like 6 minutes on Viper because Nigma was tri-laning him. So what basically happened was they picked the Viper to deal with this Faceless Void safe lane, which is great because you have damage over time. It's like the Venomancer matchup as well against the Faceless Void. You dumpster it. So Nigma's like, you know what? We're going to tri-lane you. We're going to feed off of you. You're the stupid slow Viper hero. We're going to own you. And then he just jungles. And then the Nyx assassin sits around and takes the XP. It was like the coolest thing ever. You can tell that this is a Viper player that has gotten tri-lane before, suffered, and he's like, I'm not even laning. I'm not
skilled
laning.
Viper player. Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is basically like the development of a team, and what is critical in a major or even any tournament is from day one to the next, you need to understand kind of how to develop your team and how to approach different scenarios. Like day one, they had these scenarios where they're getting tri-laned or they're getting pressured. They didn't respond. They didn't react. They didn't rotate anyone. They played 2-1-2. They just existed. So the fact they have developed further and they've had these kind of slight adaptations, be it a Viper jungling, don't do it in your pub, guys.
Slight adaptation.
slight one.
Yeah, I was recording like some replay review for Patreon, and I was literally like, this is either a Herald replay or a Tier 1 Dota replay. There's no in between. You're never going to see a Viper jungle and be like, this is so, like, it could be legitimately Herald.
We haven't had the really annoying lane swaps yet, though. You remember, like, did you have it in NA DPC, where, like, they'd sit 2 cores in the jungle, jungling a small camp until they can get...
The lanes?
We've not seen that at the major yet. Like, I'm excited to see that game, because the whole contract is removed.
That's always like Timbersaw Broodmother drafts, and like they seem to be getting first phase banned.
That's the type of thing a Viper might do as well now. It's like,
the thing is, that's why I love the jungling, because he recognized that he's like a 270 move speed hero or some crap like that. So he just doesn't even bother like laning. He's like, how am I gonna cut creep waves without boots?
It's just decision making and being confident that the decision is the right one, and everybody follows suit, right? It works out. Also with the Mag, played at position 1. It was completely, I think, for Team Nigma, but a little bit out of left field because they played Mag mid.
Yeah.
They played Mag position 5, but they hadn't shown it at the position 1 yet. And I mean, this team obviously in March, Boomy and Buck joined. Also no strangers to playing on LAN though, so this team, it's great to see this development, and I can't wait to see what they can do up against the #1 seed at the moment. We have PSG LGD on the other side. PSG LGD, they ended the day yesterday against Team Liquid with a clean 2-0. Not really pressured was the final verdict of my panel that time around. PSG LGD is looking hot.
Yeah, they look like just the best team in this group stage by a huge margin. One thing that they do that I really like is I think that they're valuing Lina. This hero, the win rate is incredibly good on it. I think that it can be flexed between position 4 and position 5. I think it's good as both of those because the stun is just so damn easy to hit. And then in the mid lane, you can just you can farm so quickly because of the cooldown reduction on fire on the Dragon Slave at level 10, and then as well as the Fiery Soul having extra duration. It's like I'm literally just seeing Lina's top of net worth every single game, and you go for this MKB Satanic build with Daedalus, and you chunk out so much damage. You don't even need your carry to deal damage. They can build like Heaven's Helper Scotty, that sort of tanky crap, and then you just tank for the Lina to do damage.
But they're also cushioning it in the draft where they've got like a Void or a Mars and like frontlining heroes, so you can just play like a chill game. Because the issue with Lina is if people get on top of you, you instantly die before you have, the BKB, the AC, the Satanic, all these items. So they're pushing it in the fact that they have good defensive heroes, plus the Lina's having a good lane most of the time. And it's good to see, especially with PSG, they're not afraid to go for drafts where it's like we have a super hard carry, like the anti-mage against Beast Coast, they turtle and then they play for the late game, but also they go super hard, like semi-carries, and they're playing high pace and in your face. So the versatility of PSG is very scary.
Right, you could actually argue that it's like they have nothing to say, who's literally the rank 1 player, I think, at the world right now in terms of MMR. The guy's just got a big 1 on his profile.
And if you have 1 in also, like, disregarding MMR numbers, 1 in the West region, like the most tough region to play in.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Pretty darn good.
Like, maybe that's why the Lina works for this team so well, is because they have a mid laner who's going to outskill basically anybody in lane. They're going to outskill basically anybody in terms of team fight positioning. Maybe that's why it works. I mean, I think Lina's a really good hero, but they're just picking it every single game, and it looks insanely good.
They have the exact same amount of kills per minute, 0.73. That's pretty high, actually.
It's quite high.
I like it.
Hopefully today ticks over to 1. If they have an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah.
That would be quite insane, actually, if that did happen. I'm curious, what kind of game are we expecting between these two teams? Because we've seen TNC, if you disregard day 1 for them, they are definitely also considered to be the top teams here, together with PSG LGD. So do we have a favorite going into this? Are we still favoring PSG LGD because on paper maybe they have the tendency to do better? Or are the results that we saw yesterday from TNC versus Nigma enough to say, well, I think maybe they got an edge? What do you think, T?
I think I put, as my prediction, I think it would be a draw.
Okay.
Just because I think TNC has continued to level up each day. And I think they are going to have to break down kind of the defense of PSG. PSG, again, like I mentioned, they have so many styles. I feel if they come into this series not with the mindset of scaling and they go for more fight, I think that's where TNC can completely exploit them and just pace them in the early to mid game.
I agree.
If PSG kind of go for more of the harder carries and just play their tactical game, I think TNC might struggle a lot running into it. So I think it's all about what type of PSG we see, because if they go active, TNC easily could muscle up properly.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think LGD's formation is going to be really hard to break unless it's literally like just some chaotic team fight versus chaotic team fight. It looks like that's where TNC thrives.
They do, yeah.
Right?
100%.
And so if there's any place where TNC is going to be better than LGD, it's going to be in those team fights, as opposed to like strategy and where they're playing on the map. Because in that regard, it seems like LGD is just unbeatable right now. Maybe like EG can compete.
They
Maybe
are
that's
so
it.
scary, yeah. The anti-mage against Beast Coast, I just keep bringing it up, but like that type of gameplay where you are happily letting them run at your buildings, and then the anti-mage is skipping, and you have the confidence that you'll eventually win. Like that takes so much like discipline, and that's not meta, right? Like how often do you see people play that style? That is so uncharacteristic.
No, that's like 2 years ago meta.
Yeah. I mean, if you're speaking about older metas, there's a person who's very familiar with that. Their captain, Zhao8, PSG LGD's not captain, coach. And he is, of course, going to play a big role in deciding what strategy PSG LGD is going for here. We saw yesterday they adapted perfectly to what Liquid was bringing to the table. And we're also going to find out what they are going to do against TNC. I am very curious to see what TNC is going to ban, because yesterday we saw one of the games against Team Nigma. They knew exactly who to target. They just removed 7 supports in their bans, and showing that they'd done their homework. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in that game. And I'm curious what they'll go for in the first game of the series, as we do have a draft coming your way. PSG LGD versus TNC Predator. We got PSG LGD on the Dire side, TNC on the Radiant side. And we will show you the draft any moment now.
I think the interesting thing so far is PSG, when they are first pick, they're not instantly snap picking the AA. They might do it against TNC because TNC naturally does like these kind of beefier heroes. But again, they go for Enchantress instead. You know, they're not going for it. Like it's available, and they're just ignoring it.
Yeah, and I think also both of these teams, because they haven't played in the wildcards, there's only 6 games to go off of, besides scrims, of course, data that you can get from pubs. But it's been a while since all of these guys played officials, I believe, even for PSG LGD, right? T is or did China have some officials going on still running up to this?
Yeah, so during the DPC they had some tournaments, but it was actually crazy because like the scheduling of it was they delayed DPC for a break after the major, but then they run the tournament with the players, and now they still haven't even finished the tournament because now the team's at the major. So
that's
it's really hard to say. Like they've basically been on and off playing this side tournament. I think it's called I-League or something, but yeah, there has been a higher volume of games.
So are you saying TNC plays in I-League as well?
No.
PSG LGD.
Okay, LGD, I see, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I-League is like, well, I watched I-League and I saw Faith Beyond playing 4 Undying. I was like, position 4, what happened?
Just playing,
Did he like have such a bad game of offlane? They're putting him as it's like he's downgraded to a 4. But no, I think they're just having fun messing around.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to learn, right? I mean, that's how you get a Viper that goes jungle as well. That doesn't happen unless you had to do that at some point.
Sure.
In a pub or an official non-DPC related. All right, let's see then. We got a Snapfire Mag picked up by TNC again. As mentioned, Mag is an absolute flex pick for this team. They play it on all different positions. Snapfire so far has only been position 5 though, so we can remove the Mag 5 probably from those options. PSG LTD going for the Death Prophet and the Enchantress. Any opening you like more?
I like the idea of PSG's opening because you pick the Ench because you naturally want to play Ench into AA, so therefore TNC is kind of deterred from picking it. They then get to go for a Death Prophet, closing out the first phase, instantly into an AA ban. They ban the Lina out as well, which is a very good hero against DP in the mid lane especially, because you play off range, you never have to siphon from the DP. So yeah, it's very much a pretty smart tactical opening from PSG to kind of get everything they want and then get kind of multi-value bans from first and second phase.
I think also one like underrated thing about the Enchantress Death Prophet, and actually one of the big reasons that I think Enchantress, despite a lot of nerfs, came back into the meta in Season 2 DPC, is because the Enchantress running a creep at a tower, oftentimes with just like +1 push hero or with like a catapult, there's not much you can do to beat that timing because Ench can show up to your tower at 5 minutes, nobody's ready to fight, and that creep just is a complete beast. And then with a Death Prophet who's level 6, it's like any tower you put these two heroes in front of is going to die. The only problem is like it's a bit squishy between these two heroes, so probably some sort of like Centaur type hero is something that they need to pick, but that's okay. They only have 2 heroes.
I think the key thing here is the way in which Magnus is played, unless it's a 5, because TNC has run at 5 before, and I think with this type of opening from PSG, I think you might want to put the Mag into a 5 role.
You want to put Snap 4?
Yeah, like put Snap 4, Mag 5, go for like a PA, for example, just because Ench, DP will look towards playing together, every ult go for a tower. Mag naturally goes from lane to jungle. He doesn't really want to show up and defend the tower. It kind of ruins his kind of the timings of his farm efficiency early on. And that's why I think PSG were happy to go for a DP so quickly, was because it's like, well, you have this Mag, great, but your kind of smooth entry to the game is completely kind of removed.
If they play the Mag 5, they absolutely need something that's going to defend their tower.
Yeah, for sure.
Because otherwise you're going to get mega ran out. So I agree with the idea that like the Mag jungle is a slow timing for a core, where normally that core would be the one to show up and defend towers. So maybe flex it to a 5 position with some sort of PA type hero. Maybe Juggernaut because it's a little more early game centric. It's a little bit less risky. But you definitely need something that's like maybe a Lina, you know? Oh, actually, Lina.
Banned.
Lina is very much banned.
Yeah.
But something to long range, like non-committally defend towers. Puck would also be quite good.
Yeah, the Armel Puck. We've seen him do that before.
He popped off yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Despite having a really rough early game, he still eventually came back. And I love that he goes Boots of Travels every game. I was trying to figure out like why he went Boots of Travels in that game. And all I could think of is just that I think this team just really values, in general, Boots of Travel as an item in any game. Okay, so they do go for the puck. I think legitimately bots are in such a place that you should have a bots hero, or at least a hero that has brown boots with the option of going bots in every single game. I think this item is far too good to not go for it. It just gives you the option to clear up all of the dead lane farm that nobody else wants to take. Basically means you get to have one extra mid laner. SQ, you know, that level of farm in the game.
Yeah.
Interesting puck from TNC, because it's showing more about their own confidence in what they want to play rather than what PSG is picking. Because naturally DP into puck mid lane is heavily DP favored, because you have to silence, you pressure the tower, and you don't really get annoyed by the puck itself. So yeah, TNC very much drafting for what they need in the game. And I would even argue with the Spectre Ursa Void ban, somewhat more elusive carry heroes, that I would gravitate towards saying the Mag could easily be a carry in this game. Because like the way in which TNC dismantled Nigma was from these clean executions of Mag RPs the core, the carry, whatever, he dies, move on.
Honestly, yeah, the Spectre ban instantly makes me think it's a Mag core.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's a Mag support, it's like you don't care if the blink is being canceled. There's no blink. Mag
you're
5
like skewing around like, oh!
You're skewering in pathetically to try to hit your RPs. But as a core, it's like you're relying on those blink RPs. So you're definitely right with the carry bans.
Well, let's see. PSG LGD is taking quite a long time to think of an answer to this. TNC hasn't run puck in any different position other than having Armel play at mid.
No, I don't think
the
so.
Death Prophet most likely going to be on the offlane. So is this the place, is it the time where you would search for a hero for nothing to say? No, turns out that's not the case.
This is, you ban an AA second phase and you have 3 heroes that have a component of healing. This is going to be a very tanky lineup that can individually potentially survive an RP, but also enable each other to get through it.
It seems like a really good Vessel game, honestly. Like, it may be a Vessel carrier or just get it on your puck, because you're totally right. Like, this is way too much healing to just ignore it. And these heroes are very squishy. If you can get through the healing, it's like they're not hard to kill. The one problem for TNC is none of these heroes in LGD, you don't know where any of them are going. Like, this could be a 4 or 5 Wyvern, this could be a 4 or 5 Enchantress, this could be an offlane or a mid-death prop.
Exactly, yeah.
So we don't actually know what the lanes are going to be. But then on the flip side, it's the same. We don't know if this is a carry Magnus, we don't know if it's mid, it could be an offline Magnus, who knows?
I guess the key thing here is TNC, their draft so far, it is just robust, and it works, you know? Like, if it is a carry Magnus, like, there's so much damage coming from it in regards to Snapfire and Puck, so the tankiness of PSG through Cold Embrace and Enchantress, these are heroes that do die to any magic damage. So now they pick up a Pangolier as well. Like, TNC actually has a really nice draft to deal with the flexibility and kind of the healing components of PSG.
Pango is a tough hero though into the Wyvern. I mean, that's one of the classic
because
counters.
of the Winter's Curse stopping the Rolling Thunder.
He just balls up and you just curse him and get out, and you know, it's one of the best heroes to disengage against is this Pangolier, and Winter Wyvern's like arguably the best disengaging support in the game.
This is why I think TNC they've covered themselves with 3 forms of initiation now. So if the Rolling Thunder, if Pango's getting cursed, the Puck's then jumping in and coiling. If the Puck's getting cursed, the Mag's RP and the Rolling, you know, like they have so many ways to kind of get into the fight that it's all about PSG having really good positioning. Like the DP, be it offlane, be it mid, needs to get to like Yule's BKB really quickly so that she can frontline and ensure that the Wyvern is always in the optimal position to get the correct curse out. Like, a methodical game is required.
Okay, there's the
more tanky.
DK mid most likely, now DP offlane. Unless they want to do DK offlane like Nigma runs, but I don't think they've run that so far in DP.
No, and they've only played DP once for Faith Beyond. But again, the flexibility still there. We know that PSG LGD is a versatile team, so they probably run it multiple ways. Are we expecting the Pango then being a Tim's Pango, position 4? We saw him play it yesterday as well, and I feel like that would push Mag as the offlaner, leaving us looking for a Gabby hero for them. And that's also what PSG LGD is thinking, considering they are banning out Terrorblade. We have TNC banning out the Medusa.
Yeah, I think in PSG's position, because they don't have ultimate last pick, they should just ban heroes that are like big win conditions. Because if TNC want to go for a Mag carry, it's all about execution and finesse. And of course, PSG, they have the confidence playing into this style because they are very good at kind of turtling up. And that's why they are putting a little bit more emphasis on banning carries and allowing TNC their creativity in their draft.
Yeah, there's like every single carry band right now.
Loads of them. Juggernaut's still in. You mentioned him earlier. PA, obviously still combinations with the Mag. But we're definitely getting a smaller pool. Where Wraith King still in as one of the usual suspects, I guess.
Wraith King, so Wraith King is like their comfort, but the problem with Wraith King is like Death Prophet, DK, like these heroes are so easily able to just kill him after the ult. It's like, it's not like you're popping something on the Wraith King and then, okay, he comes back alive and then they don't have it up. Like the Death Prophet ult will still go. The DK stun is going to be on such a low cooldown that you can kill him when it's up. So that's the only thing is, but you know, with the Mag, you've got the big crit. Like that doesn't seem that bad.
Did they just go for like a Morphling or something here? Just go for one more hero that likes playing like healing-esque, enabled by the hill, higher value. There's not a lot of like instant damage, it's more kind of like control and slow ticking damage where Morphling can thrive. And
TNC Predator
Bloodseeker.
Wow, Bloodseeker. Okay.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I'm talking about like some win condition. Like, nope, let's fight, let's go, let's just get out. And now they have Bloodseeker versus Pangolier. Of course, the Pango will not have a fun time. As soon as he rolls up, he gets ruptured, he's out of the fight.
But isn't that a good thing if it's a Pango 4? It's like,
true.
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
Yeah, it's not. When you're a support Pango and the enemy picks Bloodseeker, it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't really care that much. But that means that it basically does guarantee this probably will be a Tim's Pango.
Yeah.
Which is nice. That means you know the lane is easy for Bloodseeker, because what the hell does a Pango 4 do? You're just always going to go even in the lane.
You're always playing on pools anyway. And there's
You go.
yeah,
Okay.
The Mag PA combo, I'm just waiting to see who picks up what to get some more clarity. We got a position for Winter Wyvern. Nothing really spectacular other than it's nothing to say on the Death Prophet, and the DK is on the off lane. While on the side of TNC, they are waiting with picking up. Oh, there we go. We got the mag off lane, the Armel puck mid. Yeah, and the Tim's Pango. Nothing too surprising there then. Yeah, that's the one that is expected. So, do we have a favorite?
I think this PA pick, it does put a lot of emphasis on early fighting, but it can easily be dismantled by really good positioning of Wyvern, because you're not going to be blowing up like DP once she gets like a plate mail, or you're not really blowing up the DK. So it can be like an awkward game for the PA. But yeah, no, I think they do have good skill. Once they get over that hurdle, a couple more items, they're good.
Yeah, I think TNC, if the game does somehow go late, they obliterate LGD.
Okay.
I think it's not even remotely
slight
close
hurdle
to the
they have
late
to get
game.
over.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But with that being said, LGD with DK Death Prophet, Enchantress, I mean, these are insane pushing heroes. So I would just give the edge to LGD that I think they're a more structured team, and that with this pushing lineup, they will actually be able to close out the game before PA can get any farm.
So for all the TNC fans, as long as TNC can defend their towers, even just a little bit, they'll be okay.
If they're not losing, they're winning.
Yes.
For sure. I think the late game's not even close.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting games where you've got a Bloodseeker lineup with so much healing that it means you can survive long enough that your enemy will go low. Therefore, the value of Bloodseeker Thirst will go up immensely. So I hope to see a couple big drawn-out fights, and maybe Bloodseeker, like an MKB +1, he can actually fight the PA later on as well. But yeah, this will be some high-octane, 20-minute fights, really key spell usage. It's going to be beautiful.
Long, drawn-out fights, I hear. We saw the kill per minute for both teams pretty high as well. And I know two people that are going to be very happy with that. Maybe their voice is not as much, but we will be entertained for sure with Cap and AUI.
Oh, yes. I'm certainly looking forward to this game and this cast, which I'm going to be doing with AUI. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more knowledge than just if they're not losing, they're going to be winning. I'm not quite sure what that means. But, Aoi, maybe you have a way to be able to break that down.
The Jenkins statement?
Yeah.
I think he's making stuff up. No, I think it's because, I mean, they have the Meg PA, right? Typically, like, you don't beat that combo late game.
Yeah.
I think LGD, they're already sort of like an atypical Chinese team. Like, if you look at all 4 Chinese teams at this event, I think LGD are the most special. They have a little bit of the Wings magic, I feel like, when I watch the games. They'll pick stuff like TA, Drow, Slaughter Cores. Very non-Chinese style. Usually Chinese Droughts are robust, team fight, can always win a game. LGD make crazy moves and they run at you.
A very high risk, high reward sort of situations, which is a little bit more focused on faster pace, let's say.
Very execution based. Like I think, as an example, like I think Team Liquid plays a lot of very high execution lineups, which is why sometimes they're like sink or like they're very polar opposites in their performance. I think LGD has an element of that in them.
Blitz has often told me that the way Liquid approaches lineups is that we believe that we'll be able to play this lineup to like the highest degree.
It's a hard way to play Dota, to be honest.
And you're saying the Chinese style is sort of opposite of that. And that is something what I believe Kyle was kind of talking about whenever he played up against Chinese teams. It felt like they were always situated where they were waiting for you to make a mistake. They always had lineups that had a little bit of give and take. You know, they could take some abuse, but once you slipped up, that's when they would be able to punish you.
Yeah, I think in general, like, no matter how the game's going, the Chinese teams historically could always end up winning the game. You think of like these big like team fight OTs, just pristine team fighting skills.
Is that something that back when you were on Evil Geniuses, did you guys take a bit to that style? Because I do remember EG's style back then was very much having a lot of like that big high ground defense, those big team fights that could always turn the game.
Honestly, I don't even remember. Like, I feel like I should, but like, I feel like the scene was so much less developed then. That's why we were able to win.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if we had the same depth of strategy.
The scene was less developed.
No, it's like Dota's gotten better and better each year. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, some of the plays these players make are absolutely mind-blowing.
Now, something that is going to be unique about LGD and unique across this tournament is that Nigma has been doing super well after day 2. They're top of the group stage right now, and they have been the only team so far to employ this off-lane DK. And that's something that PSG LGD is going to be trying out here with Faith Beyond.
Oh, he's getting gone on, though.
He is taking a lot of damage here. Something they got to be careful. This, even though he didn't go Little Shredder, I imagine Little Shredder plus a PA is going to be a kind of a deadly laning phase combination.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty high armor, so that's probably why he didn't take Little Shredder. I think the QW, it gives you more options, not necessarily so the 2 of you can kill them, but when Pango wants to rotate, because I don't think he'll end up pressuring a Bloodseeker and Enchantress lane.
Right.
When he wants to rotate, you have like more kill threat.
Also, Little Shredder being nerfed, I believe the last patch,
that's a
it
big
seems
part of
like
it too.
more people are trending away from that one. We had an interesting conversation during the draft about this Pango 4 position pickup, as do have a bit of trading going on back at bottom lane. It looks like they might be able to get the kill here. Shin Q is just setting up for a Splinter Blast. He knows he's dead. He's just trying to do as much damage before he falls. That's going to be first blood for Gabby.
That's a huge kill. And TNC, they've actually done... I mean, they've performed really well this tournament. They started the tournament 0-3. They picked up, they've gone 5-0. They have a lot of momentum. And in particular, they played their PA lanes really well. Like, they won with PA Magnus, which is completely unexpected to me.
Yeah. Okay, why is that unexpected to you?
Well, not in the game, but in the lane. I think Magnus is sort of seen as a more greedy pick. You're not expecting to win the lane, but you know you'll provide enough to the game with your Empower, faster farming PA, and high damage that's worth it. However, they got the best of both worlds. They just won the lane and they carried the game. They had like a 20-minute rampage on PA or something, just stomped the life out of Liquid.
Yeah. Tim's being pressured right now by Y. It does manage to get the pull off nonetheless. I have to say, I was a little bit surprised how many people were doubting TNC, and that's purely because of the fact that I got to cast the game where it felt like they turned things around, which was the 1-1 against Vici Gaming. And in that game, too, I could definitely see that they made adjustments, and they turned, like, the way they started playing was different from going from game 1 to game 2. And all of a sudden, game 2 against Vici Gaming, they looked fantastic. I was like, oh, this squad is really good. It's funny how these group stages happen, because sometimes if you don't see that, like, one game where a team turns around, your idea of what they are may not be correct.
Yeah, for sure. And I think even anyone who watched their second game versus EG, like, they lost that game, but they looked really good in that game. A lot of the predictions coming to this tournament were 1 second they're going on bottom.
Oh, Gabby is...
They're so aggro. I love it.
So much damage, and he's like, nah, I'm going to turn around in this Winter Wyvern now.
It's a good trade, right? Wyvern used all his spells. It's just very... its risk was very calculated.
Yeah.
I think a lot of predictions about TNC were coming in with like zero information before they played any games. They looked a bit shaky their first game versus EG, but that second game they should have won. Like RTZ just played really well that game, but TNC, they stepped it up even more since then, and they're looking like one of the best teams to make it out top 2 in the group with their schedule.
Yeah, and this is probably the toughest opponent that they have left, right?
Yeah, I think so. Of like the top 5 teams, I think they've played all of them except for LGD right now.
Right.
And I'd like to see the Pangler make a rotation around the 5-minute catapults this game. I think they have some pretty good timings on TNC. I think they're not afraid of TPing in additional heroes to use it. When I think of TNC, I think of a team that's hyper aggressive, and they want to play like that. Like, I know they could play this lineup defensive, you know, you have Mag, PA, try to hold down the fort.
Yeah, sit on the triangle for 20 minutes and wait for PA to win.
Like, I think EG would win the game like that.
Sure.
But I don't think TNC should try to emulate that. They should beat themselves because, I mean, why wouldn't you? They're 5-0 in their last games, and every game has been super aggressive. Like, this PA, he's probably going to go... He has Tread's Mask of Madness queued up. That's super cool. I thought he was going to go for an Echo Saber, but I am also really down for something like that, like a Mask of Madness, small fighting item type.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. We did watch Tim's fall there as the Pango up against Y. And the Enchantress with the Help Air. Nothing major really coming out of that. You can see a nice aggressive
Honestly, I think they're okay with what they got on top. I mean, LGD are winning the lane really hard, but as long as you don't feed and you get some levels, I think this is like sort of expected.
Big rotation from nothing to say. He's gotten on top of Gabby. Gabby, he's going to try. He doesn't have a jump, actually. He's just dead. He jukes as long as he can inside of the trees, but with just a really good rotation from this Death Prophet, they kill the carry of TNC and are setting up to be able to take this tower. That's why Armel is already rotating in. He wants to make sure this doesn't actually happen. He's going to try and clear out the creep wave as best as possible, though LGD not wants to back down from this fight, it seems. They're going to now force out the coil from Armel just to be able to save himself. They need more TNC members, though. They're actually going to hop in on Boomy. He's really going to try and do this one. Gabby's now here. He's going to jump onto Faith Beyond. He's so tanky as a Dragon Knight that he may eventually go down, but it's going to cost TNC a lot. In fact, Faith Beyond doesn't even die. Gabby's now going to find a way out of here. Armel jumps to his orb to be able to stop the healing sound of Faith Beyond, but he's already healthy enough, and Gabby is just going to die a second time. Double kill for Innocence, and Armel may have stopped this push onto the tower and maybe able to get the deny, but it was a terrible, terrible trade for them.
Just beautiful execution from LGD. I think in that fight, like they managed to rotate the DP for the kill, but their communication's really good because Enchantress is able to follow it up. You saw that Wildkin, that completely changes the dynamic of that fight. Moreover, like I think we're sort of seeing that TNC, their lanes are a little bit shaky. I think they would have wanted to sort of make the first move. We saw like the difference, like the puck coil was defensive, whereas DP was able to use the aggressive exorcism, and as a result, like this map is looking really good for LGD.
Do you think part of that is this Magnus plus Pango off lane?
That's
right?
a really greedy lane, yeah.
Yeah, neither one of those heroes is going to do anything for you pre-level 6.
Yeah, I was actually hoping for like some crazy move where like you coil the guy mid and you have both supports there and you TP a Magnus in or something.
Yeah.
Skewer him to break the coil. Like I think that's a move that they sort of had to make, but it's really hard to coordinate that in the game. Like you need everything to go out, right? And nothing to say, like he's been playing fantastic in this tournament. He actually reads it and he makes a move first.
Yeah, he really has. Armel unable to grab what is a double damage rune. Goes to nothing to say and his bottle. Meanwhile, Ame's just kind of chilling out here in the top lane. 4,000 net worth lead for him. He didn't even bother to rotate to that bottom lane fight, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe he was just so confident that his team was going to win it. I normally imagine Bloodseekers joining engagements like that, but he has just been very focused on continuing to stay top of the net worth board.
I think he would have TP'd if the fight went a bit towards his tower, but you have to be really careful with those TPs just because Magnus's game was so bad, you don't want to get him back into the game. By staying top, he's actually doing a lot for his team because Magnus doesn't get a game to play. And Exo's already up, they're Exoing mid, they don't have the DK for him, but there's just so much pressure from LGD, and Ame, he's farming up a storm.
Faithion even just sitting here. Armel, they're going to spot him out. Now Armel is going to be forced to jump into the silence, but he actually does use his silence to be able to get just out of range. Rupture damage is coming in. Armel is just on a sliver here. He's got another orb. He's going to be able to jump away. A beautiful RP from Boke is going to be able to skewer 2 heroes into the tier 2, but the problem is Cold Embrace stop much of the damage. And Tim's, who's still just a level 4 Panko, doesn't do a damn thing in this team fight. Another shockwave thrown out, which is going to completely whiff LGD. Once again, putting pressure on TNC, and TNC failing to have the kind of firepower to respond.
And just such a good, like, how LGD rotates their heroes is just so smart. They've given this Bloodseeker a lot of space. He's gone to free farm. He has a little power spike. It doesn't even have to be something big because you're a carry role. All he has to do is come to his fight, rupture the puck, and push him off this tower. And just by nature of being there as a carry, he secures his team a tower, and it's like this huge swing.
Yeah, who else is going to kill the creep wave on this lineup of TNC? No, like nobody really does that for you very well. Not under leveled, that is.
And I think the panel is mentioning, like, LGD know that TNC have this late game timing. And LGD, I mean, I think they've done the research into TNC. They know how TNC like to play, and they're like, how do you fight into a DK, DP, Bloodseeker core trio? Like that. They like, why I like LGD so much is their drafts seem very specifically tailored to their opponents. Like they don't have like this default that they over-index on. And I think it's like a very Xiao 8 thing. If the enemy picks Lone Druid, we don't need teamfight. We're going to pick Slaughter, Drow, TA. It's very smart. I like how they draft.
So in that case, let's talk about what TNC should do. Like you say, you can't fight into them. Okay, so what does TNC do in response? If you were in their position, how would you approach the rest of this game?
So I think right now, it's very hard to move past the river. What they need to do is they need to overwhelm their opponent in some area. Maybe try to take control of the jungle, play on the vision. They're going to get gone on Gabby here, though.
Gabby, they spot him, but the rupture finally comes out as they manage to break that meld. Now, Gabby is going to be jumping over to this tier 2 area, and it looks like LGD are deeming that off bounds. They're not going to go that far to try and pursue. They just keep him out of his triangle. They block the ancient camp, make sure it doesn't respawn.
Yeah, I think their best chance, they have a good idea of what to do in this game, right? Because they place these 2 jungle... What happened? Sorry.
Sorry, when I say block, I meant body block.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they place these 2 wards in their jungle. I think what they need to do is they need to try to get LGD to feel like they can overextend. Maybe they show a bit more top. LGD are like, okay, they're trying to flip the map. Let's go invade their jungle. You already have vision there. you take an overwhelming fight where you bring everyone to the fight and you hit some good spells. Like that's the only way you can really come back against like a lineup that's ahead and wants to fight you.
Okay, so put like a PA out there and then surprise them with, oh, there's a puck mag behind it and we're gonna get this good combo on you or something.
For example, Y walks into the jungle here. You can imagine maybe if they had a few more heroes there, like the PN Snapper already, you just instantly kill the Enchantress and then all of a sudden you have a disparity in resources on the map because you have one more hero alive.
Right.
Then you can start running at them. Maybe think about like snowballing off her kill, taking territory and getting some deep wards. Right now it's like they're a bit split. I don't think they're feeling desperate yet, so this is why they're not doing what I'm saying. Like it's not like what I'm saying is absolutely correct. It's just like my read on the game. But maybe they just wait for a timing before doing it. He almost has an Echo Saber on PA.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things they were missing previously was level 6 on the Pango. Like, that support doesn't do anything for you until he has his ultimate. So he's got that now. He's got the Orb of Corrosion as well. Maybe they're going to wait for, like, Blink Dagger on the mag. What is Boat going for? I kind of assume that he needs an early blink with a puck, but no, he's actually going to sustain items with the mech. They're going to try and catch him out here, but very smart TP by him. Oh, actually, he Winter's Curse a creep, which was barely in range of the mag to Jin Q. You goddamn genius.
That was amazing. That was such a good play from Jin Q. I was just about to say, this Magnus just made the play of the game. He got his team back into it because they wasted Exo, they wasted DK for him. But Jin Q, he just completely changes the state of the game with
Magic
one
damage
play.
coming in over the Cold Embrace. See if they can burst down this Dragon Knight, and they will. Now they have the Rolling Boulder that's going to be chasing after Nothing to Say. He swiftly does dodge it. Does manage to put a little bit of drain onto Armel. The cookie actually goes out, gets him out of the drain. Gabby, meanwhile, is unsure if he can commit. Throws out a bit of daggers. Nothing major. TNC probably feeling okay. Just, okay, right. We got a good core pickup. Let's not throw this away too much.
And TNC, their read of the game there is really cool because even though LGD killed their offlaner, they committed a lot of resources to do that. They used the Curse, they used Exo, they actually used 3 ultimates. They knew that they could defend this tower simply because their 3 heroes have so much magical damage between the mid hero and the 2 supports. It's good punish onto the DK there.
Yeah. No, they certainly are.
Well, I am a bit surprised that Faith Beyond isn't buying any, like a cloak, even just a casual cloak this game. It seems like TNC's read on the game is we're going to burst heroes, like, defensively in order to get back into this game.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. If the Wyvern can't really initiate, and there's enough mobility that Rupture doesn't, like, absolutely hold a person in place, then they do kind of need that initiation. But yeah, like a Hood, just a straight-up Hood of Defiance would make him, I think, near invulnerable in these team fights.
I mean, I think the Blink is good. He needs to be that frontline initiator for his team, but he's actually going for a Howard after, which is good this game. I mean, you're against Meg PA. Stopping physical damage is going to be really good. But yeah, I would have liked to see just a casual cloak. I think it's an underrated item right now. And look at Jin Kyo. He's just straight going for the Orchid. That's a cool build. Very strong.
Something that I feel like that's been flavor since Ice 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 was experimenting off-lane Winter Wyvern, and he was going like, I think Orchid was his preferred build at that time. And ever since then, it seems like these 4-position Wyverns, every once in a while, we'll see an Orchid from them, since it does pair up so nicely with Winter's Curse. Pretty much you Winter Curse somebody, you put it on them, the duration is about the same, and it's just going to be resulting in a ton of damage.
It's actually a really good defensive item in a lot of ways too, because if you look at Winter Wyvern's game, the game for Winter Wyvern this game, it looks like Puck wants to jump him, but if you have an Orchid, he can't really do that because of the threat of the item.
Yeah, that's true. Same kind of goes with Pango, right? He wants to be able to like swashbuckle you and then roll up.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, same thing there. The silence on those 2 very mobile heroes that are typically like support assassins. That's sort of their job.
A lot of your job as a support in Dota is not to necessarily live, but to make the enemy cores overcommit.
Okay, they had the vision here. They just straight up go, but look at Faith Beyond. He managed to get the stun out. That allows the Winter Curse to be able to go down, keeping Jin Q alive. The shots, oh man, he managed to just dodge so much. Ultimately, Swashbuckle finishes him off. Still though, Boka's gonna be falling here, and Boomy actually gets swallowed up by Ame, who's running around like a madman right now. He has built up some serious speed, though as people start dying, the speed eventually does wear out. Still though, great team fight for LGD, and that's all off of the fact that Faith Beyond's quick reaction with the Blink Dagger stopped the skewer back.
Yeah, then that was really close. I think it was just unfortunate. Like, TNC saw the opportunity. They almost came back into the game there, but Armel actually didn't have a TP. So a little bit low to comms. A good reinitiation, though.
Yeah, and managed to find the Dragon Knight once again. Faith Beyond overestimating his tankiness against this magic damage.
Yeah, he's just not tanky with this Belt of Giant Strength compared to a Cloak.
Yeah. It is really so weird. He's got a Quelling Blade.
He does.
Like, sell the Quelling Blade. Just buy a basic Cloak for me, please.
I feel like he might go back for a Cloak, but honestly, like, I don't want to harp on it too much. He clearly has some idea with it. Sange is clearly one of the best items of the patch, so it's hard, that's hard to say. And, I mean, he did just save that last team fight, what can we say?
Oh, look at this. TNC are really going to try for an early Roshan because they have Pango, one of the best heroes against Roshan, being able to provide that disarm. And then they've also got a PA who can sneak into the Roshan pit with them.
Yeah, they have the Corrosion.
Oh, man, they got the,
This is
scan.
clever.
They know this is happening. Even though they didn't have vision, they knew this was going on. And while he's silenced up, this PA still can't get out of the pit. He's looking to be able to blink away, but Roshan bashed him for a second there. PSG LGD, though, weren't quite ready to engage, especially since they don't have Exorcism. That's up now. Dragon Form coming up in a few more seconds, and then LGD will be back to full fighting shape.
I can't believe LGD read that. Like, it was just such a weird auto-place move. Like, you just lost a team fight, and you're like, your support and your offlaner start hitting Roshan, and PA joins in later. But LGD, they just kneeled right away.
Yeah, LGD, excuse me. Pim, can we see LGD's vision again? It's just this bottom lane, these two very aggressive wards. They saw nothing there. They could have just all been triangle. They could have been maybe playing closer to the top lane farm, but no, they just made the read. Okay, we gotta beware. They can Roshan with this lineup. Boomy is gonna be breaking the smoke here from LGD. They managed to get the stun there. Rolling Thunder is gonna come out though. Hits a couple of heroes, but I don't think they want to fight into this Exorcism, or maybe they do. Armel's actually gunning for it. He's going to go straight for the Dragon Knight. The magic damage isn't quite enough, but now they have the Mortar's Kisses raining in as well. The Winter's Curse is going to be able to grab the mag and pull him over as the Pango is about to finish up the Wyvern. They do manage to get him with the Kisses. Why? He's going to be coming up next as Gabby's gunning for him. Nothing to say. The RP pulls him and Ame together. They're putting out some good cleave damage, but it's not quite enough. The Bloodseeker's fighting through it all. If he gets another kill, he keeps on healing himself. Nothing to say with the Exorcism still out as well. TNC were so close to wiping LGD, but Ame was just a bit too strong.
That was really close. I think he had like a couple hundred HP on Bloodseeker. LGD, they smoked in there with 4. I think Ame was coming to join the fight late, and the RP barely clipped him. It was just, oh man, one crit and the game changes there, I think.
Yeah, seriously.
And TNC, they have a good idea though. Like, the enemies coming to your triangle, you're down a lot of gold, but they know they have to stand their ground there. They use 2 buybacks, and that, like, if they win that fight, that's your way back into the game. I like how they're not trying to, like, oh, you know, we have the late game, we're going to split push the side lanes, be scared of our opponent, trying to dodge them, because that won't work for LGD. There's no way, not versus these heroes. They have DK Blink, they have Wyvern Catch, even some Bloodseeker. Instead, like, they're taking fights. They're trying to outnumber them with buybacks.
So it's okay if they have less map control than LGD, but they cannot forfeit their triangle. That's like the one fortress that you must hold down.
For sure. I mean, if the enemy's running in, not bringing everyone, or you think you have like even a hint of a good fight, like you should take a risk, seize the opportunity. You're behind. And TNC, I like what they're doing. You know, they went for that Roshan. They tried to hold their high ground. They're taking risks to try to come back in this game, and that's a mark of a good team.
Yeah,
oh,
they're smoking in. They see double damage. Everyone's going to be fighting over that one. Armel's going to be grabbing him, but he already got stunned up, and now he's going to be silenced up as well. Oh, this puck is in trouble. The Rolling Thunder tries to be able to intercept, but Armel ultimately does die. Now it's Ame. Oh, they managed to get the Winter's Curse on the Rolling Boulder with the PA right next to him, so they're both very likely to fall here. Sure enough, they do, and that low health allows Ame to be able to chase down Boomy, gets that extra +1 kill. 4 down on the side of TNC, just outside of the Roshan pit.
Jinkyu is just playing these fights like a monster. Perfect silence. He gets a save off on his Enchantress. You know, sometimes you're scared to save her. She's getting rolled on. Saves her. He gets a perfect curse. He's making Wyvern look like a tier 1 hero.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's very rare to see Wyvern before this tournament. I felt like it was only popping up every once in a while in the DPC matches. Sometimes it'd be 5, occasionally 4, but you're right. Jinkyu is making a good argument that this is a top-tier support hero.
He's higher farmed than the enemy offlaner. I feel like after this game, I mean, I'm not going to execute as well, but when I see a Magnus, I just want to pick this hero and try to play like Jinkyu does.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Crazy stuff. Look at him. He's even going for the Witchblade now, so just even more damage that he can throw out during a Winter's Curse combo. Like, this is very rapidly getting turned into...
He's going for a Shadow Blade.
Oh, is he?
He's going for a Shadow Blade.
I had my phone over and I just saw the
because even so
knuckles.
Unexpected.
That's crazy.
The idea is super cool, though, because as we were mentioning earlier, Radiant's game plan on TNC is just to find this Wyvern and kill him. You cannot let him get saves off. You cannot let him get curse off versus a Mag PA lineup. If you have a Shadow Blade, all of a sudden, like, I mean, he won't be found. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Kaya for the Death Prophet now.
Man, this Bloodseeker, he only has, like, when you think of Bloodseeker, you don't really think of these hard carry heroes.
Yep.
But I think he's shown in these fights, like, he will hard carry the fight, and he's itemizing for that. He's got Maelstrom, SOI Satanic, the classic, like, I will 1v5 this game build. And it's paying dividends. He has his Aegis. I don't know how they're supposed to kill him twice at this point. I think right now, TNC need to look. Like, I didn't want them to split push the side lanes before, because they're only a little bit behind. They could still fight with buybacks. At this point, I think you have to force out a bad TP from LGD, or get a fight into your tier 4s in order to win this game.
And sadly, they're going to have to do that without Gabby, as he does get fully rotated on by LGD. TNC is beginning to go for that sort of desperate split push style where you know you're down and you're down bad.
Yeah, and it's hard. The LGD heroes, they don't seem like they're that good at catching, like maybe the DK, but just by the nature of how they get to push waves with like their supports on Wyvern and Edge, it's really easy to catch people. And look at top lane.
He got the Pango, managed to get him with the Orchid. They're going for him. Tims, he's going to be able to back out with just a swashbuckle, but he is going to have to run away scared.
4 creeps on the Pango, and he did 1200 damage in his ulti. That's terrifying. Like, when he has a Shadow Blade, I can understand the Shadow Blade. He's getting Shadow Blade because he understands that TNC can no longer fight him. So the best way to catch people is just to get a Shadow Blade and walk around the map invis so you can set up curses.
Yeah, they can't split push.
That's really smart, actually.
Yeah, just run around.
Jinkiel is wrinkly big brain.
LGD, man, they have been a pleasure to watch. I've only been able to watch maybe about half of the DPC Chinese games, but
they're playing really well.
Yeah. I've always been surprised to see, like, why is LGD not at the top of the board?
Yeah, same actually, especially with Xiao coaching him. He's just such a world-class coach. And Faith Beyond, he actually goes back for the hood. I like that. Like, you can actually frontline a bit more. I think at some point in this game, he realized, like, if I frontline, apparently my 4 position is going to kill everyone. So you don't need to do anything. Even Y, he's been dishing out some damage. He went for a very aggressive build. He only took 2 into enchant, and he maxed out his impetus.
No, I've noticed this about Nigma employ this as well when they do the offlane DK. They have 2 supports that output a lot of damage. Because that is the thing about DK is that even as a mid laner, he doesn't do that much. As an offlaner, he's just really not going to give you that much damage. But he does give you excellent frontline and excellent single target initiation. Boomy is going to be target here, but no.
Yeah, I really like what you said there. Because DK, as a hero, if you look at him, he has a lot of strength. Oh, TNC, they're trying to seize bottom. They showed a lot of heroes from LGD top.
They're doing that thing where they're moving around the map very quickly to try and catch LGD off kilter somewhere, but LGD is wise to it. They back up, and if the TNC's not careful, they're going to get caught here. Nothing to say, was hiding in the trees. Now Faith Beyond is back into it, a silence, into a stun, and there goes Armel. And the rest of TNC has to give up any pretense of a team fight without their mid laner, but they're ruptured up on Gabby. He has to go for a TP out, and he stuns. Dragon Tail's not quite there. And it looks like Boke, okay, they're going to chase him all the way down to the tier 3 here. The Pango's coming in. Can he Rolling Thunder stop some of this? They do give the cookie away to Boke, and he managed to skewer himself away to safety. Now, nothing to say. Awkward position, but he managed to juke the stun there. Oh, and Tims runs into the side of the wall there. He won't be able to pursue after the Death Prophet now that they're outside of the base. TNC not so sure they can take a team fight anymore. They're going to have to wait for Armel, it looks like. Never mind. Skewer back into the cookie chain stun. Beautiful combo. TNC get the first life of the Bloodseeker and then back up. They're not going to trade anything for that just yet. Puck is almost here. Armel, 3 seconds. If they can slow down these heroes, maybe they can get a good coil and still force a good team fight here. Faith Beyond threatening to go back in there for a moment. He's got the Evans Halberd, so he is very tanky. LGD making sure that TNC doesn't feel super comfortable trying to chase them, but I think TNC realizes this is an opportunity they have to be able to seize. Armel jumping forward. He's got to be careful of that Orchid, though. He's been caught out by it once before. TP away from Boomy, and it looks like PSG LGD managed to hold themselves in a tight enough structure that TNC finds zero weakness to exploit.
I love watching these high-skill teams team fight. It's just such a dance, you know. They're sort of coming in, they don't want to overextend, and they're dancing and dancing out, and you know, the moment someone steps out of position, everyone's gonna jump on them and punish them.
Yep.
It's so beautiful.
Shiva's almost done for nothing to say, so more frontline and more tank from the Death Prophet.
They do have the blink RP on Magnus now. I think we saw that in the skewer last fight, but I think it's so hard to push forward on the map as TNC. I think they might be stuck at this point to hoping LGD mess up. And
this is that combo, that single target combo. Winter Wyvern, no longer just a defensive reactive support. The way Jinkyu has built it, he is now an active hunter in the game.
This Wyvern build is just, it's stopping TNC's ability to come back into this game. Because usually when you're behind, what you want to do is you want to play side lanes. You push out your side lanes, force the enemy team to mess up, maybe use a TP, react to you, and then collapse on them somewhere else. However, you can't push side lanes if it's an enemy 4 killing you. Like, they're not even bringing their big heroes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like, Nothing to Say has bots. If this Wyvern catches a core, like, they will bot in and they will kill that guy.
And as a result, LGD sitting on a 14,000 net worth lead. TNC still does have the comeback potential just because it's PA Magnus. They've got a lot of team fight. They've got the big late game hero. But it is a dark and dreary game for them indeed. And
he has his BKB and PA now. That is one comeback potential. If they can get a really good RP, like, you can always win with this combo. I don't care how much gold you're down.
Yeah, especially with Coil as well, right?
Yeah,
RP, Coil on top, skewer them out of the Coil to snap it, do even more damage, more stun time.
And Pango actually has his blink too, if he wants to buy it here. That's another, like, for Magnus to get a good RP, they need someone to go in. I think that's a lot of why they picked the Pangolier. He can roll in. He doesn't even have to hit a lot of heroes, but the chaos he creates will cause Magnus to get a good RP.
He's just kind of like, look at me, and then all of a sudden Mag is like, I found my opening.
Man, you see Faith Beyond, I love his idea for this game. He's going for a Force Staff because he understands that even though he's the offlaner, he's just for utility. Oh, yeah. Jinkyu with the Shadow Wave bottom though.
Jinkyu's hunting. He's gonna find Gabby. Spots him out. Winter's Curse and Orchid immediately. They do have the Bloodseekers coming in, but there's other heroes of TNC here as well. Gabby actually gonna use his BKB and he completes the TP. That was actually very disciplined of him. You see a 2-man RP like that, I thought for a second he was going to cancel the TP and try and fight, but that would have ultimately been a disaster. TNC used the opportunity to just get a clean escape.
Yeah, that was 100% the correct choice to TP out there. I think if he stays, he dies for sure, they lose the game. Just good decision making from them. Honestly, even the RP, like, it looks weird, but you have to make sure your PA doesn't die and you don't get over... I mean, you'll just straight up lose the game if you lose heroes there.
Yeah, absolutely. In that short of time, snap judgment, but wasn't a bad call from Boke whatsoever. And Armel, catching him with the Blink Dragon Tail stun. Dragon Knight's just so good against Puck.
This Bloodseeker hits so hard. He even has like the armor talent. He didn't take the Blood Rage attack speed.
Oh, really?
Which I think is correct. I mean, you're against Meg PA.
Yeah.
But man, that Puck died fast.
All right, well, 45 seconds for Armel. Without the Puck, kind of feels like this is going to be one lane of barracks at least. But TNC, we're still going to poke at LGD, trying to keep them honest here. Maybe even slow them down enough that they can't go for a second lane of barracks. Actually, backdoor protection came up for a second there. It's too bad they didn't push out mid lane a bit faster.
It's so weird. I think Radiant mid lane is the furthest backdoor protection of all the lanes in Dota. If a creep hits the tier 2, it actually cancels backdoor protection.
Yeah.
So that's just unfortunate for them there.
That is a very deep line. I normally think about it being where the emblem is.
Yeah, no, you think about it, like, it should be like when the creeps hit the tier 3 or something.
Yeah.
Or like 600 range from it. It's like 1200 range at mid or even more.
Oh, that's interesting.
Man, LGD, they really just did their homework on TNC. I think how they drafted, how they structured their draft, like, they knew that they don't have to necessarily out-carry them late game. They just have to sustain the aggression from TNC, put them off their game a bit.
I'm sorry, did I just see an Ether Lens on Dragonite? Was that the hero I just saw that on? All right.
You did.
Damn. That is cool. Boomy in the pit here, gonna cookie himself out. PSG LGD are certainly gonna, oh, what an RP with the coil combo. They're gonna be able to skewer snap a bunch of heroes. Ame's a little bit low. Gabby's gonna be able to jump onto him. Can they finally get the kill on the carry of LGD? He actually hits the hard camp to be able to heal himself up with the Satanic and the heals, but it's not enough. Gabby is too big. He actually managed to win that man fight. Down for 80 seconds. LGD is still pursuing, though, with nothing to say, but without the exorcism, he doesn't do that much damage. They're going to go for a TP out, but Bulk comes right back with a skewer, gives up his life to be able to stop that TP away from nothing to say. They're just bit by bit poking at these two heroes. Gabby now making the commitment here, wants to be able to make sure he doesn't die to nothing to say, but he's got the talent. He's throwing out Crypt Swarm after Crypt Swarm and does manage to kill the carry of TNC, still trying to get away here. TNC chasing after him. He's out of mana now. They know he's got no more offensive spells, so they're just going to stick onto him as best as possible, and I think they've got him here. Unless the Winter Wyvern, Jin Q, they've got to kill him fast. Otherwise, the Winter's Curse is going to be coming in. It goes out, but the Death Prophet's already dead, and Armel has slid away. As a result, it looks like Tim's, he may end up dying here, burning out from the Arctic Burn. He does fall. Armel chasing after Jin Q, though, has him low enough. Almost finished him off, but the Cold Embrace is going to keep him alive. Armel out of spells. He's got a silence up, but he doesn't have the distance right now. Boomy looking to approach. They get the silence. Oh, but he turns around and kills him, dropping the gem. As a result, Jin Q trades himself for Armel. Boomy's on the hunt for the gem and a TP away, but he doesn't have TP. He's going to have to just run his way back. It's a 5-on-5 battle right now for the gem. Let's see if Innocence, he drops a ward just to be able to spot him, but Boomy in turn denies the ward. He takes away the Ghost Scepter with the enchant, dispels him. The Winter Wyvern's coming over with the courier to be able to spot him out, instantly picks up the gem to make sure there's no enemy courier shenanigans and flies away with it, drops the gem to make sure they can kill the ward on the high ground. That was that was probably one of my favorite one-on-ones I've ever seen, and it was a 5-on-5 battle.
That was honestly hilarious. And TNC, they're showing their merit in this game. Like, how they took that fight was insane. They're down 15k gold. I thought they won the game there for a second. Like, Roshan was respawning. I gotta say, like, props to Nothing for how he played that team fight. You know, he held his BKB for literally like 50 seconds that fight. Wow. It's just such patience, and he got it off just because he had that BKB. I think he was able to finish off Gabby. He doesn't do that. I think this game's actually really scary for LGD.
Okay, explain this Ether Lens. Is it really just Dragon Tail range?
There used to be a guy in NA who would go Radiance Octarine Core on Dragonite.
Okay.
And you would have like 100% uptime on your ultimate. It was terrible. but I think it's sort of cool in the idea that he has for the game. Like it fits the theme where he just wants to be utility. I don't know if it's correct, but you know, I'm sort of curious about why he's doing it. He probably has some idea, right?
Okay.
Faithbeyond's a cool guy.
So, Aether Lens on melee form Dragon Tail is actually going to make it somewhat ranged, right?
Yeah.
So,
triples the range.
It is an instant cast still, right? Melee Dragon form is instant cast. So, he will be able to instantly cast it as stun at like 400 range or something.
That's actually really cool versus Puck specifically, right? Because oftentimes you see the range stun come out and Puck phase shifts it. I think approaching what pros do from a point of curiosity like that, where you're like, okay, let me try to figure out why they're doing it, is a really cool way to learn about Dota. Because, man, what you said is so smart. Actually, I'm thinking about it. That's pretty good.
Wonder if then we're actually going to be able to see that in action, or if we're just going to be seeing really long
he's going
dragon form Dragon Tails.
I think he went for this Aether Lens, and like the idea is cool, and at the same time, like I bet he wishes he was just a bit more tanky that last fight.
Sure, and maybe even just having like, yeah, I guess armor is more important than BKB right now.
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing about BKB on an offline Dragonite is you sort of want them to cast some spells on you. Yeah. You sort of want to soak up that damage. I'm not saying BKB is bad necessarily, but in this specific game, I think he's decided he has so many damage sources that he wants them to target him.
Lincoln's picked up for the Puck. So he's going to try and put an end to that Dragon Tail reign of madness.
He does have Halberd though, so with the Aether Lens, you can instant Halberd, instant stun.
Yeah, we'll see how quick he is on the fingers. Winter's Curse actually put onto the creep there. That's not what he wanted. And Jitku, he'll pay for that mistake. Nothing to say. Going to go for the kill on Boke. Won't be able to get it fast enough. He TPs away. Armel orbing out as well. Faith Beyond won't be able to pursue. They won't catch Gabby. That could have been very scary, but Jin Q missing on the Winter's Curse. Winter's Curse, since that change, Is that heroes only or literally no other unit inside
It's
the Winter's
any other unit. Even a neutral creep can proc it.
Okay,
So,
so
you know,
if
the
you had
combo
it,
is
the
you
PA.
you Winter's Curse and you dig up a kobold with your shovel, it extends the duration. And throw the cinematic highlights. Oh, that's good stuff right there.
What? I thought you were I thought I was going to blow my mind with some crazy...
This is the stuff I think about. And a rare mistake from Shinkyo. Actually, something that's cool this game is that he has a Witch's Blade versus PA with BKB.
Yeah.
If you hit a BKB unit with Witch's Blade and it doesn't proc, you continue to have the True Strike. So if PA BKBs and you hit him, you will always have True Strike on him until your Witch Blade procs. Yeah.
That is fascinating. Rupture being used on Volk right now. Ame is sitting on him and looks to be able to kill him while he's still silenced out. Now they're going to chase after Boomy. Tim's probably wants to just roll back to safety. Oh, he got clipped on the wall. Uh-oh. He's going to go ahead and pop his shard here to try and blink away, and he does. Nicely played. But still, losing their Magnus is a big part of their combo.
That was super. Did Ame not want to hit him there? Like, you can still hit him when he's rolled up, right?
Yeah, you can hit him, and he could have stopped the blink dagger, but he would have rolled deeper into the base. So I think he just didn't think about the blink.
Yeah.
But jump in. Do manage. Oh, Cookie's actually going to be able to get a two-man stun. Ame's a little bit of trouble. Oh, the dagger did 1,400 damage. They're going to be able to finish him off. That's the first life without Gabby having to commit. As long as Armel can get away here, this is a pretty good trade-off. Gabby's now going to commit, using the BKB, but he went for the Enchantress. The Enchantress has the level 20 talent. She's so hard to bring down. Oh, no. TNC. Can Armel get out? No. Swept up by the Dragon Flames and the Crypt Swarm at the same time. They buy back on Tim's for this one, but Tim's Rolling Thunder now up. Let's see if he can cause a little chaos with Boke about to come up as well. And yeah, LGD thinking about retreating. A 4-on-4 is not what they want to take.
You know what's so weird about this game is that LGD are up 23k gold, but I'm actually really worried for them.
Yeah.
I clicked on PA. When this Rapier comes out, like, she did that Bloodseeker died in an instant there to a dagger and like basically nothing, just some puck spells.
Is it just me, or I feel like LGD was winning this game without Ame, and I haven't seen Ame do very much. Like, yeah, maybe he cleaned up certain fights, but like other than that, fights that they were already winning, he helped them win. But I haven't seen anything very impactful out of him.
Yeah, I think Ame in general, he's a very clean up the fight to carry the game player, which isn't inherently bad. But I agree. I think maybe a little bit of his itemization feels a bit weird to me. Like, I don't think he should have finished his Mjolnir this game, as opposed to something that helps him 1v5 a bit more. Like, they weren't low on damage, as you can see from Jinkyo just dominating.
Oh, tempted to go for the Shockwave Skewer back. Nothing to say, it was a little bit too fast, though. And they are beginning to hit this Tier 3 tower. A dangerous combination. Cold Embrace put onto the Death Prophet as the Ghosts are out. Backdoor protection up for a second here.
He does have that Skewer cooldown, so it's up again.
Yeah, they can go for it again, especially if Nothing to Say starts getting low. Oh, but he popped the cheese just beforehand. He heals up. He's still got the Exorcism going, and they have the Magnus currently orchid it up. Tim's, though, causing a little bit of havoc in the back line as he managed to do a nice Rolling Thunder through most of everybody. Nothing to Say finally popping his VKB, chasing after Gabby. Really wants to be able to get this kill. Gabby is actually turning around on him with the Satanic. Heals up just a little bit. And the rest of the team managed to take the mid lane of Barracks. Now LGD looks to be able to get away. Not cleanly, though. They're going to have to leave Innocence behind. Why? Falls. 80 seconds for him. They're going to chase after Nothing to Say. They know no Exorcism, no cheese. They're feeling it right now. They do Dragon Tail stump, but it bounces back off the Lotus Orb, and they manage to get him out of sight. Like Gabby, though, is taking so much damage. Ame actually wins in the 1v1. He takes him down. Now going to go for Armel as well. Armel managed to phase shift Dual Scepter a little bit more. Can he kill Jin Q? He's going to be able to jump away to his orb. Gabby's back with a secondary life here, but Ame is seriously cleaning up this team fight. Gets the silence, gets the stun from Faith Beyond, chasing down more heroes. Armel, he's a liability at this point with how low he is. Poke actually all the way underneath the tower. That's where he managed to get that kill. Ame gets the ultra kill and looks for Gabby, who's hiding away in the trees, and said, please, not me, not me. More buybacks coming in. They're going to use Bulk to try and skewer him back to the fountain here, but this double damage Bloodseeker will not quit. Rampage for Ame, as now he's going for the Megas, and TNC are left with just 2 members to try and defend. It's Armel and it's Gabby, and it's time for them to go. If they want to stop Megas, they have to go soon. A little bit of a poke from Armel. Looks like they're going to have to go for Megas, but Faith Beyond, he's going to force the action first. Managed to get the silence, trying to prevent him from being able to jump back to the fountain, but because of the Satanic dispelling off the silence, he does get back to safety. Now jumping in. Oh, he broke and kills the Bloodseeker. He died just like that. it's gonna be Megas, but TNC are showing they could still hold. Now going for Faith Beyond. Gabby looking for more of those crits, but it's nothing to say who is a problem for him. They're focusing on the tanky Dragonite. Okay, a crit finishes them off, gives a little bit of bumper to Gabby in heals. They go for another break, nothing to say, has the Eon Disc though, so they're gonna have to back away. The silence onto Gabby. He has to turn and fight. He has to heal up as much as possible. A Cookie, a little bit of distance, he heals up more, but he's psyched up. Damage coming out for the Exorcism, not quite enough. He jumps to the creeps, heals more and more. A dagger comes out, but it's not enough. Why? Finally gets the shot that puts him in the dirt. 2 minutes for him. Armel looking to be able to kill the Death Prophet here. Boomy CC's low. He's going to give him the assist, but nothing to say is just too damn good. He's too damn fast, and he puts out too much damage. CNC are all going to fall and drop the GG as LGD will finally clean up this game.
Wow, what a fight. I think nothing to say in particular this game. He's really proven what a top-tier player he is. I think he's the highest MMR in the world right now, and he's really showing it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a performance by him. So many times that Ame dies in a team fight, I'm like, uh-oh, that's going to be it. And then he still manages to kill Gabby. Like,
yeah, no, he's playing fantastically. And I will say, though, Ame did come into that game. This is a classic Ame, you know? You think, oh, he's when he gets his timing, he popped off. He gets that rampage with the DD rune. That Miona looked pretty good in that fight, gotta say. Shouldn't have talked about it.
Yeah, we really did do
he's
the
really
Caster's
good.
Curse the wrong direction. Ame, you're really good at the game, and he sure did. In the end, come in clutch for LGD as they lock down Game 1 against TNC.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Cap and AOI. What a game. We said it was going to be, you know, late game was going to be in the hands of TNC, and PSG LGD was going to make a case of ending the game before it got to the point where TNC could turn it around. Well, they waited until the very last second, because that could still have gone either way until almost the very, very, very end. I'm here with T-Gov and Jenkins, and I think, T, this is what we wanted to see.
Yeah, this was a beautiful showing for PSG. Very aggressive, up in their face. I think TNC, they tried to actually make some fights occur. I think, for me, the game-deciding moments were like minute 18, minute 20, outside the Roshan pit in that kind of radiant triangle. PSG constantly taking fights there. TNC felt like they had to protect this area of the map. They had the PA farming. They need to get her to like +1 item. But because they fight there and they get dismantled 2 fights in a row, instantly gives away the Aegis. And from that, then PSG just have that extra level of confidence to run through. But yeah, TNC, even though they were down, they always had glimmers of hope because this Magnus, like 8k net worth, like minute 20 or something, basically off lane to support, he was still hitting some of these kind of clutch saves and RPs to enable his team. So yeah, it was commendable from TNC, but ruthless from PSG.
That's a great summary there.
Sorry, I just thought I had to.
I think like, you know, a lot of people would look at that game and then see like, okay, 3K gold lead at 10 minutes. You know, that's like a winning game from LGD. And like, of course, I mean, they did extremely well in the laning phase. They had to, right, against this late game lineup. But that's like a typical mag draft, honestly. Like whenever you've mag PA, a lot of the time you just get shoved into your triangle, and that's the only place that you can farm, and you have a gold deficit, and then you take some fight with like the Deso plus some big RP, and then you win the game off of that.
You wait for your timing, and you go.
Yeah, exactly. But these heroes like Magpie are not good at getting an early lead at all. So they are almost always behind. It's just that LGD was really good at forcing the issue. Like every single Faith Beyond, man, he stood out to me as like the absolute MVP of that game. Ether lens on Dragonite. I mean, that is cool.
Yeah.
Like making that melee stun, like triple the range. I mean, that's some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's good. But I like how the fact that they did touch on it in the cast. Like when TNC nearly had a comeback, they were like, "Ooh, this ate the lens. Ooh, he's gonna regret it." And then like 2 fights later, he's utilizing it once again. So
yeah, Armel couldn't do anything in that game. He's just getting Dragonite stun every single fight. Like that was not in the Armel puck that we're used to seeing.
No, he struggled a little bit. Definitely had some glimmers of hope here and there. But yeah, he struggled.
So I was just gonna say that I think PSG, the reason why the game was so easy was because their itemization was key, and I think Wyvern, the funny thing for him at least, was his build is the same type of build that Roger did in the Eastern European League. With Brian, he nearly had like a breakdown from these items.
In a good way or a bad way?
In a bad way.
Well, he went Orchid first item.
Yeah.
I loved it. It worked out so well as well. I like that if we are talking about this game, we talk about good plays from all the players. You heard our commentators like nothing to say. Obviously had a fantastic game. Ame ending with the rampage there as well. Thank you and his Winter Wyvern. This fight in particular getting the silence off, getting the curse off at the right time as well. I mean, this is... I feel like this fight was made by ZinQ.
Well, this is the 20-minute fight I was talking about. It's the fact they are playing in the river. They're playing on like multiple different high grounds, and TNC basically enter the arena, which is the river, and they get all kind of put in the middle.
Yeah.
And PSG are basically on all fronts, just covering each steps and just taking the fight. And their ability to kite out, it was exceptional. And it stems from the fact they have so much healing, so much tankiness. They are going for like cheap items to get themselves into these earlier fights.
Yeah, Aui's really right about the fact that this game looked a lot like a dance.
Yeah.
Like, you have all of these heals that you were talking about, but then also you have these like persistent fighting abilities as well. Like you have the Death Prophet ulti, which is going to continue doing damage. Faith Beyond just kept stunning after stunning after stunning. It was such a pain in the ass to deal with. ZinQ just waiting until the last possible second to get that great winner's curse. And then of course, my man Bloodseeker, like this hero is arguably the best hero in the game at taking a long fight, because if people are low HP, you just run in there, race car, one of the only heroes that actually surpasses max move speed now, and you get a rampage.
Yep.
We zoomed in on that poor Magnus dying, giving away the rampage.
I also one point, there was one fight, started right north of the Roche pit, ended at the tier 2 dire side top
that
lane.
was nuts.
That fight was a fight where I thought TNC, they are going to turn this around. It looked crazy. It started out well, and then it went wrong, and then everybody bought back, and it went right again.
I think, unfortunately for them at that point, it was the fact that PSG was relentless at going for racks non-stop, and the point in which, like, PA needs the rapier, but by the time she gets it, it's like already racks down, mid's pressured, like the courier's coming in with the, like, it was just 5 minutes too late for us to really start talking about like the true TNC comeback. And maybe if they could have protected the racks, got the rapier earlier, this could be a different story, utilizing Mag at the tier 4s of PA, but PSG, they see through that, they go for it, and they just end the game before half.
All right, I want to propose something to you guys, and I want you to genuinely tell me if there's a shit take, because
Fair.
I
I'm down.
I just want to know.
That's
to be
fair.
honest.
Okay.
So, to me, I've in a lot of the, at least with the top tier teams in this tournament, it seems like people are far more comfortable nowadays in Dota going in like 4v5 than they were before. Like, I noticed that there's a lot of fights where the enemy team will have overcommitted, and then the team that has less heroes actually wins the fight because that enemy team has overcommitted. Like you were saying, with that fight that went on for 2 minutes, it was literally like 2 versus 3 or 4, but they had used so many of their resources that LGD was like, what are they doing? Kill them. Like, it's 2 of us, but we have BKBs. Like, they have no resources. Just murder these idiots.
You are kind of right. It has varying success right now in DPC. Like, Nigma tried doing that yesterday, but failed atrociously.
True, yeah.
But it's the idea of understanding the vision that they have, and then just knowing what have they used, what have we not used. I think it slowly is being developed further and further. And before, like, think about OG at TI, you know, it's like they would just run at you non-stop, they don't care.
Yeah.
And people have started adding a little bit more finesse to it. And that's kind of where we're getting to with Dota right now.
I guess it's the idea of like resources versus kills.
Yes.
It's not just about like, oh, they have 5 heroes, we have 4, we need to get out. The teams that are better at identifying that, okay, we have 4 heroes, they have 5, but our resource situation is better than theirs. Those teams are going to win more because they're going to take opportunities that the teams that are just thinking only about the hero numbers, they're never going to take those opportunities.
Yeah.
Think about like when a POS 5 runs up the high ground to get information. He dies instantly, but he's not wasting key spells.
It leads to a good
like
fight.
he's then buybacking straight away with his spells up. Like some people right there is like, oh, why wouldn't he use curse before
That's
he
still a
dies, you know?
hero's advantage, though. Like, what I'm noticing in this tournament is it's not even about buybacks.
Sure.
I'm saying people literally go in, like, 3v5 because it's, okay, oh, there's 3 of us, but this is our only opportunity to fight without the Warlock ulti or to fight without the Mars ulti.
And they might be confident that they can blow one person up at the start to even out
Make it
those
a 4v4 or
numbers.
something like that, yeah.
The main thing that you're saying is basically, when you're in that position of 3v5, if you don't take at least some type of skirmish and you retreat back to your base, you give up full map control, and it allows for the slow-paced nature of the supports to come in, deward the area, and have then that dominant performance. What you're describing is basically, it's kind of like the last-ditched effort to get yourself some positional advantage, because if you get 1 or 2 kills, even if you die, you're still kind of making them use stuff that they're not crossing the river and making more happen. So it is very much kind of like a rebuttal. The equivalent, I think, was like, for example, the Beast Coast game where you have the